in every one of you. I'm disappointed in every one of you. I'm disappointed in every one of you. I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Welcome everybody to another Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. Yeah, it's your good friend Mr. BDA, and alongside with me as always my co-host, the one, the only King Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. I see we also got Chief already jumping aboard. Chief, are you there?
Yes, thank you for having me as always.
Thank you for being on, man. Really appreciate it. Listen, fellas, got ourselves a fantastic fight week. The Usyk Joshua heavyweight mega fight is on the horizon, and we're happy campers, let's just put it that way. After a lot of shenanigans with the whole Valdez thing, Jake Paul fighting, that was essentially one of the biggest fights of the year, and postponed fights up the wazoo because of the COVID. Well, finally we get ourselves the fight that we wanted. Chances are no one's gonna test anything positive, negative for this fight. I think all the tests have probably been done, so we're on, baby. We're on. And so today on this episode, we're going to be doing a comparative film analysis. It is the official Usyk versus Joshua preview, and we're going to try to break down the nitty-gritty of everything for you fellas in regards to the fight. Before we do that, before we get to the fun, let's get the business out of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to keep the gravy train rolling, you can certainly do so by becoming a BDA member. You get access to perks such as special badges, special emojis, and of course, exclusive film analysis from yours truly, Mr. BDA. In fact, I will be dropping the Andrade one within the next 2 days, essentially. But yeah, so you can always do that. But hey, listen, the most important thing, fellas, is that you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and spread the BDA gospel. There's a lot of heathens out there, a lot of uninitiated, and they need to be washed spiritually, physically, and even accosted if they refuse to join us. So you guys take care of that for us, all right? Really appreciate it. Shout out to Dutch172, Lucky Zim Jr., The Straight G Turo, Ed Dantes, Terrio Conman, Kid Top Skull, Andre Shooter. Shout out to Andre Shooter, Dutch172, AC1007. Hold on a second. Let me just zoom in here. Who else we got here? GB Guthrie, shout out to GB Guthrie, Iceman, Padja, Sean O'Connell, Stephen Tar, Car L, Omni Combat, Daniel Bob, and many more people to come. I'm sure, fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. All right, so like I said, it is fight week. We got ourselves a sensational fight. Chief, I'm just curious, man. Okay, yeah, I'm reading your comment there. For the Usyk Joshua fight, what does Joshua have to do to win?
Definitely has to use the jab. Might have to come out of his own a little bit and lean on Usyk when they get in close, which he's not accustomed to doing. I mean, he does tie up, but he doesn't really Holyfield Tyson like. Grab him, walk him backwards, put his weight on him, just like Holyfield did to Tyson, and really make him be not just box on the back foot, but get it in his mind, I'm pushing you forward, and be the bigger man by weight, reach, everything else. But when they're inside, remind him who's bigger. So when they tie up, move him. Like, actually almost pick him up and move him into a different spot and make him realize he's in with a bigger, stronger guy.
I agree, man. I think size can intimidate certain people, or maybe not intimidate them like holy shit, but it does make them weary. I don't know if you guys remember when De La Hoya fought Trinidad, and George Foreman was saying that I don't know if he was being serious or not, or he maybe had a point, but I always wondered, what if he was right when he said that De La Hoya's shoulders, the width of his shoulders, were intimidating Felix Trinidad.
I remember that. De La Hoya, when he first moved up to 147, didn't look like a beanpole, but he was rather thin. Roughly around the David Kamau fight, he started to look like a bodybuilder. And I think that's what he meant, because all their measurements down, you know how some of the tailor tapes will go down to the calf muscle and the bicep and the chest and expanded chest. All their measurements were about the same, but when they looked right next to each other, De La Hoya looked thicker. And it's because they were the same height, but the muscle density is obviously the bone density is obviously heavier for Trinidad because he turned pro at 147. De La Hoya turned pro at 130. So the bone density was obvious. The muscle factor, the muscle mass had to be bigger for De La Hoya for them to weigh the same.
Yeah, apparently, if I remember correctly, I think according to the official HBO stats, Trinidad was 5'11", De La Hoya was 5'10". But they were pretty. I mean, that's pretty much the same size, like you're saying, right? I mean, it's
right.
In any event, I think you're right. I think Joshua does need to use his, because there's been a lot being made about the size. Oh, who's the bigger guy? Joshua's going to be too big for Usyk, which again, and I think Butch already asked the question, and I'm asking this to everybody in the chat as well, all those people that are saying Joshua's going to be too big for Usyk. If that's the case, how much credit will you give Joshua if he beats Usyk? Because, I mean, you're saying the size is the big factor, therefore, if it weren't for the size, you would probably change your mind about the outcome. So that's my question to the people in the chat. Yeah, go ahead.
When you have a guy that's accepting the size difference based off of the confidence he has in his skill level, is he going to be able to negate what Joshua wants to do? First of all, Joshua doesn't usually lean on people and walk them backwards. So even though that's what he needs to do, this isn't his regular game plan. It's not his we all keep saying, even though L-Dog likes to shoot down the thing about what happens when you get hit, your instincts go back to normal when the pressure turns up. Mm-hmm. And Joshua's first instinct is not going to be, I'm going to grab this guy and, walk him back and move him around the ring and push him with my legs. That's not what he does. So to add this into his game plan isn't natural for him. As we've seen through some of our fight analysis, Usyk doesn't mind someone 6'6" or 6'4" or taller coming at him, and while he bounces in and out and does his heavyweight version of Lomachenko imitation. So if Joshua was able to really impress by going in and own Usyk at any level, whether it's from using his size, blowing him out, anything outside of a close chess match, I'm going to give him a lot of credit. I'm not going to discredit him for winning a close chess match, but I'm not going to hold it against him because he's a bigger, stronger guy if he outmuscles him. I'm going to give him probably more credit for that because he's supposed to be able to go out there and outmuscle him.
That's a good point.
Let me finish up. One of the things I said about Tyson and Ali when they were coming up, especially Tyson, because people like to jump on and off that bandwagon, is he came along at a time when he cleaned out the heavyweight division of a bunch of former cocaine users that were underachievers and past their prime. Right. So what did he do to said drug addicts? He destroyed them. He's supposed to win because he's younger and he's fresher, but he didn't just do it by, I'm going to win and hold this one and that one. I mean, Bone Crusher Smith and Tony Tucker are the exceptions because they figured him out, but everybody else, Finkeln Thomas, Trevor Burbick, he destroyed them, and he was supposed to destroy them because he was a younger, fresher fighter. So if Joshua does what he's supposed to do, I'm not going to hold it against him. he's going to be living up to expectation.
You make an interesting point, because usually people go, well, he won because he's too big, therefore let's not give him any credit. But there's something to be said too about using your advantages, which, because I mean, we've seen big guys not use their advantage. I remember, and I give a lot of credit to what's what the fuck is this? What is this new alert that we have there, Butch?
I don't know. Something I came up with today.
Oh, somebody else came up with it? Okay.
No, I came up with it.
Oh, you came. All right, shout out to Chris K for his contribution with the super chat. He says AJ needs to work that jab like the U.S. government. Yeah, shout out to Chris K for his contribution. Yeah, man, he needs to work. Listen, he needs to use that. But okay, let me just say something first. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution. Before I get to him, I just want to finish up what I was about to say, piggybacking off of Chief's comments. I remember when a couple of years ago, when Jared Hurd beat up Erlisande Lara, and he just walked him down. He didn't care what Lara threw at him. There were some shots that hurt him, you could tell, shook him up a little bit, but he just said, screw this, I'm much bigger than him. He looked like a light heavyweight in there. He just said, let me just break this guy down. And he did. Now, of course, we see now that he's shot because of all the punishment he took doing that, fighting that way. But it was the way he was supposed to. He was a bigger dude. What was he going to do? Stay on the back foot and then try to outbox Lara? So, Chief, you make an interesting point that I never actually considered, which is you got to give some sort of props for the bigger guy, to the bigger guy for using his size advantage in there as well. In regards to Chris K's comment, we've been saying that from the get-go. And most people, it's interesting, guys, most people have been saying the same thing, that Joshua should fight off the back foot. Not necessarily move around the way he did against Luis in the rematch, but try to make Usyk come to him, jump to him, open himself up, and just tap him with the jab.
Yeah, if you set it up right, the knockout will come.
Exactly, yeah. And
he'll eventually leave himself for an opening, which is unlike Usyk, but I mean, when you have to play catch up, and some of the best laid out plans I've seen of people just making a knockout come from very easy. They started by just laying it all out to where they were ahead to start with, and then somebody had to play catch up. And once that happened, just things started to fall into place, because now you don't have to come out of your game plan at all. I'm not saying doing the boxing version of playing zone defense, of playing to lose. I'm saying you've already built the lead. Now all you have to do is establish your range and let them make their mistakes, because they have to start going for broke. They're 5 rounds down. They have to start picking things up now. Exactly. They have to start taking more chances. And they have to get inside, which is where you want them to be when you're the bigger guy and you want to out-muscle them. So that's kind of the best beatdowns I've seen have happened, because they got off to a quick lead and then the other guy had to play catch-up.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And the more Usyk starts jumping in, the more it gives Joshua chances to be dirty. When shorter guys jump at him, he loves to grab him by the head, just whack him with uppercuts. So I'm not saying it's correct, I'm not saying it's right, but it's what he does best. And I doubt that the judge, or the referee rather, is going to warn him about it. Fellas, don't forget to hit the like button, and I have opened up the phone lines, so we're going to be transitioning to in between what we're talking about here and the phone calls. So call in, give us your prediction for the fight. I know we know you're excited for it, so we want to hear from you as well. All right, listen, let's jump right into this comparative table that we got set up here. As you can see here, we're going to start off. Should we start off with... Hold on, let me see what we got. We got precision, jab, speed, power.
Speed, no, that one that starts with speed at the very top.
Is that the first one? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
All right, so let's get down to it, man. Jay, Chief, can you see what I'm sharing here on the...
Absolutely, yes, I can.
Fantastic. All right, so let's get down to it, man. And we're going to try to do this relatively fast. We can't spend 10 minutes on each, because we have a lot to say. Sometimes we get down to the minutia. But let's try to keep it here, do it efficiently. All right, so let's go with hand speed. Who has the better hand speed here?
Joshua is not slow for a big guy, but thus far, I'd have to say it really has to go towards Usyk. Would you agree, Bucho?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Joshua's relatively quick for a guy his size, but you gotta go with a cruiserweight. You know what I mean? He's the fastest one in there.
Exactly, yeah. Especially since Usyk's not a big hook guy. He's more of a 1-2 guy, and we all know that the straight shots are the quickest. So, hey, by the way, people are saying I'm transitioning now. I'm okay. Forget the word transition. Forget the word transition. Switch. We're gonna be switching between phone calls and doing this. All right. Fucking people in the chat, man. All right. So I think we pretty much all agree that Usyk has the speed advantage. And by the way, would it be fair to say that he's got the advantage?
Somebody in the chat, sorry to cut you off. Ace 1007 says when he plants his feet, AJ. So when he plants his feet, he is the fastest one. I guess his combinations are pretty quick.
He's got beautiful combinations, but I don't think he's faster than Usyk. Definitely not, man.
Is he fast enough to surprise Usyk?
Yes, I do believe that.
Because that's a big thing, though. A lot of people think, oh, he's big, he's slow. Usyk's gonna see everything that is thrown at him. You're saying no.
Yeah, no. He's not gonna see everything, Joshua. Listen, Joshua is a consummate professional. We all talk about how I've heard that from people. He's protected. He's a cherry picker. He's pretty freaking good, man. He's got skills. Is he as skilled as Tyson Fury in terms of pure boxing IQ? I don't know, but he's got pretty good IQ in terms of controlling the range. The way he snaps those jabs. I mean, listen, if you want more information, watch that film analysis we did. What's it called again? It's let me just check it out real quick. So give you the rundown. I think it's called Anthony Joshua, Master of Psychological and Sexual Manipulation. I think that's the one. So just check it out. It's one of the it's like 5 videos back or something. But yeah, Butcher. What do you think, Butcher? You think Joshua's his skills are underrated a little bit here?
I think so. He's not on Usyk's level, but he has enough skills, and that combined with the size advantage that he has, and maybe even the strength advantage, it's enough to cause Usyk problems. It's enough to cause anybody problems in the heavy division. So yeah, he's not a bad boxer in my opinion. I mean, I think some people make him out to be a complete Charles Martin type of boxer. He's not.
Exactly.
He clearly beat Charles Martin from being a better boxer.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think, you compare fighters and you go, okay, he's definitely better than Brazil and Charles Martin. Now, is he better than a prime Vladimir Klitschko? To be determined.
Exactly. No.
But he's in that category. I mean, he's near that category is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, man. Now, let's go to power. What do you fellas say? Who has the power advantage here?
AJ.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, right? Chief?
Well, okay, wish we had more people in here because maybe some people would disagree with us. But
I would.
Go ahead, Chief.
I mean, let's face it. Look at the size. Look at the results. Look at who he's fought. Look how he's beat them. With the exception of Andy Ruiz, who we played it safe with the second. He hurt Andy Ruiz when he landed clean. And Andy Ruiz looks to me like he's got a decent chin against most competition. So I'd still have to put the power towards Joshua.
Yeah. I'll go with the power. Now, we're gonna have to stretch this. I'm gonna stretch this one out a little bit, Bucho, because I want more people to come in here, like you said. Let's see if we can get some disagreements. But power, I don't think there's any disagreement, man. I mean, I think it's pretty clear cut. Joshua. By the way, Bucho, you have people say, well, Joshua's power. I think for a while, because of Wilder's, he was clearing out the division, not division, but he was knocking guys out pretty much cold with one shot. And that made people underrate Joshua's power a little bit. What do you think Joshua's power is in comparison to Wilder's?
Right, you mean because in comparison, I mean, Wilder looked much more destructive in his victories, but again, you got to look at the records. You got to look at who Wilder was fighting and who AJ was fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, of course, Wilder looked more impressive, right? Better highlight reels. But you know what? I think AJ has more power in both hands and in different types of punches, like uppercuts and hooks. Wilder, to be honest, it's that straight right hand that he throws like a maniac. That's pretty much it. I mean, that left hook maybe sometimes catches some of his opponents, but it's that straight right hand from Wilder that has all the power. The rest is pretty useless. Joshua has much more tools, many more tools, and again, power in both hands, man. So AJ is much more dangerous, and he has a lot of power. Maybe not as much power in that right hand like Wilder, but enough power to knock you the fuck out.
Yeah, what makes Wilder very dangerous was the speed of the 1-2. Different wiry power that connected. If he connected at the end of the shot, you were going down. But like you said, it was the opposition. Now, for years, people were talking about how, well, just look at how Deontay Wilder took Brazil out in 1 round, whereas Joshua had to break him down for about 7 rounds. And I'm thinking, yeah, but, and this is what we've been saying in the build-up to this fight, Joshua's not a guy that's going to come in and attack you from the get-go. He's going to try to break you down with that jab, combination here and there, and that's the type of power he has that's going to break you down throughout the fight. But if he catches you clean with 1 shot, he's going to stun you. And that's not bad. I mean, it's a heavyweight division, for Pete's sakes. He's 6 feet 6 inches tall, about 240 pounds. To say that he has no power is again, I'm putting in perspective to what the Deontay Wilder fans were saying back when both of them were
Just look at his record. How many he's only gone the distance once, right?
I think twice. No, twice.
Twice. You're right, because he went the distance once before Andy Ruiz. So, I mean,
right.
There you go. He's got power. And these are quality competition people he's been knocking out. Now, for the older school people that want a comparison, let's look at this as the Wilder Joshua is Bo and Lewis. They both fought Andrew Gallardo, right? Riddick Bowe was a telling tale of his career, but was still able to hurt Andrew Gallardo when he hurt him clean in the second fight. Lennox Lewis knocked him out in 1 round. Lennox Lewis had the better one-punch power. Riddick Bowe, at the top of his game, put his punches together better than Lennox. And so, and that's what Joshua does. He puts his punches together.
Absolutely.
I don't think Wilder's ever thrown a left hook to the body. Joshua doesn't do it often, but when he does, it's effective. Mm-hmm. So there's the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Butcher said it too.
Much more compact. By the way, just because a Super J. Cole fan, sorry if I mispronounce your name, he says, do you think Usyk will need hooks in this fight?
You know what? He's been working on that right hook.
Will he need them? Absolutely.
Yeah. But he's been working on that right hook. I don't know if you've seen the videos there. He's throwing that right hook like Golovkin, that tight L-shaped hook. And he's just, boom, just blunt, just poof, practicing pure power. And I'm thinking, I think what the plan is okay, we talked about AJ's plan, which is to keep Usyk away, make him overcommit, make him make mistakes, and just catch him coming in and tap him with that jab. Doesn't have to be a hard jab, just has to be a quick, snappy jab. Usyk, I think what he's planning to do is, and I think most people see this as well, is keep coming forward, feinting, darting in and out, tire him out, and then if he tires him out enough, he's going to start loading up on power shots once he's got him tired.
AJ should play possum a little bit.
Yes.
This comparison might seem a little bit crazy, but remember Deontay Wilder against Spilka? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't think Wilder was playing possum. He was actually getting outboxed. But it helped. It went to his favor because then Spilka got overconfident. That's when he launched in and he got caught. If I was Wilder, I would play possum for the first few rounds. Get Usyk to get confident, step in, make a mistake. Remember Lomachenko making that mistake against Linares. He was getting overconfident. He was completely unboxing the guy. Shoots in straight, and then he gets caught, got dropped. So yeah, possum.
I wanna bring up something here too, because we're gonna put a hold on the comparative analysis, because I wanna have more people on board for this one. I do have a couple of questions here that I wrote down as well, but I just want to also make a comment here. Vic in the chat says Usyk is getting ready for a war, 100%. People think this will be a slow fight. It won't be. Usyk isn't planning to go the distance against AJ in England. I agree with that, man. I think he knows what's up. I think he knows what's up.
I don't agree. I mean, I agree with that, but I don't know if he's going to actually implement that, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whether he can get it done is a completely different story, but I think he's got to know, man. He fought at the highest level in the amateurs. The amateurs is only 3 rounds. It's quick from the get-go. You give it everything you've got, and sometimes it's hard to differentiate who won. Sometimes the decision doesn't go your way. So he knows how that judging works, whether it's in the professional ranks or in the amateur ranks. Don't forget to call in, fellas, if you want to. We got plenty of time right now, so call in if you want to give us your prediction or just generally chime in on this mega fight between Joshua and Usyk. The other thing is, hold on, let me see if I get this in my questions here. Yes. Do you think Joshua has the mentality to deal with Usyk's activity and feints throughout 12 rounds. It can be pretty draining.
Well, we're gonna get to the mental strength.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me switch it up here. Oh yeah, okay. I want to address this. Nikita Vedernikovs says Usyk sparred with Prime Klitschko. I want to address that. There's two stories here, two sources. We're getting biblical now, going to the sources. Vladimir Klitschko was interviewed a couple of years ago, and they asked him about his sparring with Usyk. They sparred together apparently for the Fury fight, Klitschko Fury, and they asked him, "Hey, yeah, you sparred Usyk. How was that?" And he goes, "It was not easy." So now I'm thinking, what does that mean? It was not easy. Is he being polite, saying, "Yeah, it wasn't easy"? Yeah.
He's what's Klitschko's position with MK? Not the MK. What's TK? What's the fucking company? M2, the promotional entity.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I get what you're saying.
Well, Usyk's part of that. Usyk's part of it, so they're probably friends. They're probably associate. I mean, Usyk's part of that company that Klitschko also is president of. Whatever. He's not gonna talk bad about Usyk.
That's
he might
right.
even embellish that fucking situation, that encounter that they had.
Mm-hmm. Well, he didn't really.
I don't really trust anything Klitschko says, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they're countrymen too. Don't forget, they're both Ukrainian.
Exactly.
But
I was gonna say I kicked his ass. He kicked my ass.
So you think he was being You think he was being polite by saying it wasn't easy?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, sorry, the chat was like MK Mortal Kombat. No, K2 promotions. Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying MK.
Look at the size difference, though. I mean, phew.
Chief, what do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, because I saw Chief on mute. I thought maybe he was going to chime in. Okay, so there's that comment that Klitschko made. Then we get to the second source of this sparring story, which is Johnny Nelson. He said that Klitschko was sparring Usyk. It was a live sparring session in front of the media, and they went for one round, and he says that Usyk schooled Klitschko to the point where Klitschko had to tell Usyk, get out of the ring, not in front of the cameras. Now, again, what type of open workout was it? Had Klitschko warmed up properly? Had he worked out earlier that day? Was it supposed to be light sparring and Usyk maybe went a little harder than he should have? There's a lot of questions. One round, supposedly. And again, it's a... I don't know if why Johnny Nelson would lie about it. I'm not calling him a liar. What I'm saying is, I don't think he is lying. I don't see a reason why. So there's that second source from him. He says that Usyk supposedly got the best of Klitschko in one round back in 2015.
I
Chief?
don't know what to tell you, man.
I'm just saying that's the story. So and there's a video out there. There's a dude that made a couple of videos breaking down. I forget the name of the guy, man. Fuck somebody. Anyway, he's breaking down the sparring partners for Usyk, and Usyk's sparring some giants in there, man. These sparring guys are 6'7", 6'9".
As well he should, man. As well he should.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I mean, look, if 40-year-old 6 feet 1 inch tall Povetkin was getting to Joshua, I don't see why Usyk, who's 6 feet 3 inches tall and much younger at this point and faster than Povetkin ever was, won't get to him. Now, Povetkin was a master of feints. Let's not just say like, well, he was a short guy that was getting at. You look at the difference between Takam and Povetkin. Takam couldn't do what Povetkin was doing to Joshua. There's the technique involved. But Usyk is quicker naturally. So we got to take... I think he can get to Joshua. For sure, man.
Yeah, he will. He will. It's a consistency. Can he keep that up?
Exactly.
Will he be hesitant at some point? If AJ lands something of significance, will Usyk stick with a game plan? Because you also got to risk. When you come in, I don't care who the fuck you are, you're risking something. You're opening yourself up every time you throw a fucking punch. Will he be deterred by the power?
That's a big question right there, man. By the way, we got Recognize jumping. And Recognize, you there?
Salute, family. Salute.
Salute, General. Salute. I wanted to... Salute,
General.
We're doing a comparative analysis, so we're gonna get to that. When we do the list thing here, let me just show you. Hold on, where
I
is
see
it?
it.
This one, the old when we go speed, power, who has the advantage, blah blah blah. But right now we're talking about the Klitschko versus Usyk. Supposedly, there's two sources for a supposed sparring session that took place. Klitschko was asked directly if he ever sparred Usyk, and he said yes. And then when they asked him how was it, he said it wasn't easy. And we're debating here whether not easy means he was being polite and saying, "Hey, listen, I got the best of him, but it wasn't easy," or whether he's lying or whatever. And then we got Johnny Nelson, who said that he saw Usyk sparring one round with Klitschko, and Klitschko told him, "Get out of the ring, not in front of the cameras," meaning don't embarrass me in front of the cameras. What do you make of that, Recognize?
So it was for Johnny Nelson said this was for one round.
Yes.
That Usyk embarrassed him. I mean, I don't trust that because it's Johnny Nelson. But it's possible. It's possible that could have happened. You don't make too much of sparring, right? I wouldn't make too much of it. Could Usyk outbox a guy like Vladimir Klitschko? I mean, it's not impossible. It's just, in a boxing fight that can happen. You could be a little bit rusty till you find your range, your rhythm, and then it could change, right? So I don't put too much into that. I think that hyping up Usyk, right, is part of the game plan, and I'm not saying he don't deserve it. Obviously, he deserves it, and as of right now, I'm going with him. But that's what they do. They'll hype up the fight. I mean, they're hyping up something. The stuff that they're saying, it's not too far fetched, right? Like, if you found out it was true, or you saw a video of Usyk sparring with Klitschko, and whether he was holding his own or actually winning, you're not going to be too shocked about that. So that's how I see that. I see it as hyping up the fight.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you with that. I
mean, when did Johnny Nelson come up with this story?
It was a few years ago. I think he said that he saw it when Klitschko was preparing for Fury.
Okay.
When Klitschko was
that could be a few years ago, compared to right now. That's probably. Remember, a few years ago, Usyk wasn't a heavyweight threat.
I think what happened that Johnny Nelson always wears those tight shirts.
Cutting his circulation to his brain.
Yeah, maybe, man. All right, listen, don't forget, fellas, the phone lines are open. If you want to chime in, give us your predictions. In the meantime, let's get back. Now we got 4 people total here. Let's go back to the comparative analysis here. All right, so Recognize, as you can see, we gave Usyk the speed advantage. There was one person in the chat that disagreed, but I mean, it is what it is. We gave Joshua the power advantage. Pretty good so far, right? Pretty solid.
I put it in that direction. Yep. I think again, Usyk has good. AJ has good speed for a guy his size, for sure, and for a heavyweight, period. But I think that you have to give that in terms of combinations. Just getting your punch from A to B. Usyk is probably going to be faster, and the power department, I have to go with AJ. You just take one punch versus the other guy's one punch. Yeah, the guy seems to have a heavier punch, where Usyk has like more of a sharp punch. It's more sharp, if anything.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. He's got underrated power, man. Hey, by the way, we got one here in the chat. He says, this fight excites me less than AJ versus Fury, so whatever. Fury beats both of them. I actually think, I think Fury is a nightmare matchup for Usyk. Whether it is for Joshua, I don't know. But Usyk, I think he would get... I think Fury would just fight him the way he did with Wallin and just try to lean on him. All right, so let's get back to this. So ring IQ, who has the better boxing brain here? The better skills, essentially.
You want me to go first?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Usyk on this one. I'm not saying that AJ doesn't have a good ring IQ. He does. But I think if you talk about like overall talent, understanding the fight, understanding what he wants to do more, I believe that belongs to Usyk, right? Because part of having a ring IQ is understanding what you want to do as the fight's going, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the guy that could do that better belongs to Usyk.
Yep, I think I agree with you here, but I'm not quite sure because maybe Bucho or Chief could sway my mind if they disagree. Who wants to go next? Chief, I know you're a little busy there, but I don't know. You let me know if you can chime in.
Yeah, I'm going with the people though. Usyk with the IQ. Here, everybody's saying here. Vitali in the chat says IQ Usyk exclamation mark. So I guess he's screaming.
We have Vitaly Klitschko in the chat. That's dope, man.
Yeah, we have Vitaly Klitschko in the chat. I think we have a lot of Ukrainians. Or yeah, definitely. Usyk for IQ says crypto. Who else do we have? Everybody's saying IQ, man. Chisora hit Usyk with some good shots, and Usyk took it like it was nothing. Okay, so he's talking about the power and he's talking about Usyk's chin. We will get to that pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Nobody's saying AJ has the higher boxing IQ. So I'm gonna go with the people. Usyk IQ.
All right.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Bucho, you're a people person.
Yeah, I'm one of the people. Man of the people. Chief.
So, the cerebral fighter is definitely Usyk. So he sees the fight layout in front of him as he thinks 5 steps ahead. It's not that Joshua, like we said, it's not that he doesn't have a high boxing IQ, but if I can go to the comic book world for a minute, you got the Flash and you've got Quicksilver, Marvel and DC. The Flash is obviously faster, but Quicksilver thinks 250 miles an hour. The Flash doesn't. He thinks 5 moves ahead of the Flash. You see what I'm getting at?
I never thought about that. Interesting.
I always assumed, I didn't know this, but I had a suspicion Chief was a nerd. Now I know for a fact he's a nerd. Freaking quoting comic books. No, I'm kidding around. I get what you're saying. Yeah, listen, I think most people have said that essentially boxing is high-speed chess, except with fists. And so your analogy is quite correct. Let me also say that, again, I think all three of you mentioned this, just because we're giving Usyk the ring IQ advantage does not mean that Joshua's a dummy in there. It's like when you pick one guy, it doesn't mean you completely discount the chances of fighter B. It just means, hey, look, we think this guy has the advantage. I think if you look at their overall career, Usyk has fought on the back foot, like he did against Chisora and against Gassiev. And then when he fights quicker guys, he puts his hands up and fights like Winky Wright. So he's got versatility in there. And if you look at his amateur career, yeah, I know Joshua started off late, blah, blah, blah. But that's what we're talking about. Whether you started late or earlier or whatever, the ring IQ is what it is. And Usyk, other than the Beterbiev fight in the Olympics, he pretty much had an easy time in there. Whereas Joshua had 2 very tough fights on his way to the gold medal. So on top of everything, I will agree with you, fellas. Usyk, better ring IQ. All
Perfect.
Right. Stephen Schneider in the chat says Chief has a stamp collection and bird watches. Come on. I got a stamp collection. What are you trying to say about that, man? Don't put down stamp collections. They're pretty good, pretty entertaining.
Mr. PD, we have a phone call.
Oh. Let me check it out. Okay, let's go to phone calls here. 205. You're on the air. 205. What's on your mind? Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
What's up, bro?
Yo, what's up, 205?
What's up, man? Let me tell you something. Anthony Joshua is going to fight. He's going to fight a safe fight. He's not going to engage with Usyk because this is who Anthony Joshua is. All he do is fight Russians. It's like it's no other color of boxers he want to fight. So he fight Russians because they're slow. But Usyk is a little bit different. He's a little bit smaller, but a little bit quicker. So I think Anthony Joshua needs to kind of watch him a little bit. But he's going to fight a safe fight and try to stay safe because he don't want to get engaged in a war again because he know what happened to when that Mexican knocked him out. So he already know he's not going to get engaged in no big old fight no more. But let me just say this. Let me say this in all fairness. Deontay Wilder, I'm sending you a message. You're one of the most prolific heavyweights I ever seen in the world. But it ain't how you fought Tyson Fury. It's how you lost. Zab Judah lost to a Costa Zoo. That dude was one of the most quickest fighters, fastest fighters I ever seen. But when he got knocked out by a Costa Zoo, career was never the same. His career was never the same. And I say this, it ain't how they fought the fight. It ain't how Deontay Wilder fought. It's how he fought. Now, our friend got knocked out by Gypsy Mitch. And you know how I still fly back with him, negative car with ass chips on my back seat? Do you know how that felt? Because that's what I try to get rid of them seats. I try to spray them, put Clorox on them, and it still smell like ass. So I told him, you can never go nowhere with me no more. But I'm going to tell you this now. Deontay Wilder, I seen him down standing in the Alabama River down there. In the river, flexing and flexing his arms and his muscles. And the damn fish in the water even scared of him. Got them big mouth gubbins, all of them told the other fish. Deontay Wilder in the water. Just go on to the other side, go on to the other side. Everybody's scared of him. But Tyson Fury is not. Tyson Fury will knock him out. It's gonna happen real quick because he's gonna revert back to what he always do, is try to decapitate people. And that he almost decapitated Tyson Fury. So Tyson Fury know what's up. He know what's up. And I think Usyk, if he stand there 12 rounds, if he don't knock Joshua out, he will lose the fight. And that's all I got to say, bro.
All right, Uncle Charles bringing the heat as always. Shout out to Uncle Charles. Thank you for your call, man. Enjoy the fight this Saturday. Yeah, that's all. Wait, I wanted to ask him, though, before he hung up, what the heck was he doing watching Wilder flexing at near the river? Is that something that happens in Alabama, man? I mean, you're just driving down the interstate and you see Wilder flexing.
That's how Alabama rolls, man.
That's right. Yeah, apparently, yeah, man. That's maybe we'll get old Pappy to call in one of these days and give us the rundown.
That should be a call for next week, though.
The old Pappy? Oh, yeah, the Fury thing. Well, it's because there was that press conference, if you even want to call it online press conference.
Oh, right.
3 people asked questions. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. But let's go back to the this one here, the comparative film analysis. Don't forget to call in, fellas. Don't forget to hit the like button. Hit the like. It really helps us out. All right. Experience. Now, this is an interesting one.
Oh.
This is an interesting one.
Now, some people keep mentioning in the chat the 300 amateur fights that Usyk has. Do we factor that in?
No.
No, it's only professional. I mean, it does count. I mean, look at AJ's. Compare AJ's amateur career with Usyk's amateur career, and you can't.
Yeah, but let's say one guy has 20 fights, but he started fighting championship level guys within his first 5, right? Like a guy like Lomachenko or those other Eastern European guys. Now you got a guy like Canelo who fought 40 cab drivers because he didn't have an amateur fight career, and then
that was his amateur career.
Exactly, yeah, and then the last 15 or whatever, those were relatively good fighters. It's pretty much the same thing. So it's the same thing with Joshua and Usyk here. They both have under 30 fights, I believe. Hold on, let me check. Joshua has about 25 fights, and Usyk has 18. So in terms of I say we keep it professional, man. Let's stick to the professional ranks here.
Even when it comes to the professional ranks, look, it's pretty even. It is pretty even because I don't think if experience comes down to it, it's going to be by very little. It's not going to be a lot. And this is what I mean by that. Does one guy make a little tiny mistake versus the other one that might have a slight experience? Yeah, that could always happen. It's like comparing a guy who's got 10 years experience versus a guy who's got 15 years. Is there really a big difference there? Nah. Right? Because let's say in the 10 years of this person's career of experience, they've been fighting the top guys, right? With the top guys within their division. Well, that just narrows, everything, and he's still actually fresher. So I think that for me, the slight experience goes to Usyk when you take their professional careers, right? Take that tournament. That tournament was huge because it's like let the chips fall where they may type of thing. All right.
How about experience? Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How about experience in terms of big fights? Now, both of them have had big fights. There's no doubt about it. Usyk has been traveling. He's always been on the road. fighting in his opponent's backyard. He's fighting in the World Boxing Super Series. That's a lot of pressure. But I don't think Usyk has ever been in a fight where
this type of magnitude.
Exactly where if you lose, it sets you back way back. It puts you like it's basically almost maybe
it puts you back in the line, right? Like it's
but
one
way
of those.
back. Well, but let me just put it into context. Like for example, AJ when he lost to Andy Ruiz. Actually, first of all, AJ since he became a champion and popular, every single fight it's like you cannot lose. You can't lose to Takam. You can't lose to Parker. You are the cash cow. You cannot lose. And then when it happened against Andy Ruiz, it's like holy shit. You saw that backlash, right? If Usyk would have lost against Brady's, for example, it would have been
bad, but
nobody would have cared. Who would have cared? Nobody's like, well, Usyk, he wasn't maybe as good as we thought. But with AJ, every fucking single fight is a fucking struggle. And he managed to lose so he lost against Ruiz. He managed to come back and beat Ruiz with all that fucking pressure. Does he have that type of experience fighting under the spotlight like that?
Yes, absolutely. For everything you just mentioned, everything that you just said, I agree. This is why I say the experience level I don't think will play a huge factor here. It could, it's not going to be a huge mistake. Like, you see, that's where the experience comes in. I don't think it'll come down to that. It could, anything could happen, but I don't believe that's going to be the determining factor. I think that, like you said, Joshua has been fighting under the big spotlight where
like this.
Joshua,
like
right?
what's gonna happen? What happened this Saturday? He's been like, you think that when he fought Cassie was the same scenario?
No, I'm not saying that it isn't, but I think Joshua fights on a bigger spotlight. You get what I'm saying?
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I'm not diminishing Usyk. What I'm saying is, those fights were big, especially for where he was at, right? The region he was in, the guys that were competing. So that's huge. But I'm talking about where, you're going to have like 90,000 people and it's Anthony Joshua he's a superstar. So like you said, his fights are huge. They're media hyped to the fullest. So maybe he has that over Usyk. I will say he probably does have that over Usyk, but is that going to matter in the ring?
Right, but here's the thing though, if Usyk loses, what happens if Usyk loses though? In this, he won't get another shot. He's not gonna get a rematch.
No, he won't get a rematch.
His dream of becoming a heavyweight champion might be completely over.
Could be.
No, so he's never fought at this level where this much is at stake.
Hey, by the way, Chief, are you gonna speak? Because there's a lot of I hear you in your car, and there's a lot of we hear the background noise from the.
I'll mute it for now. I got 2 cents, but I'm gonna let Bucho and Recognize finish up.
Okay. Yeah, just
so real.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. No. Okay. So I get what Bucho's saying. So in terms of like the biggest fights you can fight, probably that goes to Joshua. So you could put that as we're talking about the experience category, right? So yeah, maybe you could give that slight edge to again. I don't think it's going to really mean anything. And the same thing goes for Usyk. I think when you take Usyk's overall career, and yes, I do add the amateurs, especially the latter part of his amateur career, where he was thinking about turning pro. So he had the Olympics, the World Series of Boxing. These are all, and then you take the amateur, then you take in the pro level, you take the tournament. These are all like these are not managed fights. These are not matchmaking fights. These are whoever wins, you fight that guy, and you better be ready for whatever style is in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So that overall experience, I give it to Usyk. I give that to Usyk. But in terms like what Bucho said, the spotlight, big fights as a pro, AJ's an event. All AJ fights are bigger events. So if you want to give him the slight edge on that, but overall experience, I have to go with Usyk.
All right, Chief, if you want to chime in, man, because I know you.
I'm leaning towards what Recognize is saying, and here's the reason why. I don't know what the crowd sizes were on Usyk's unification of the cruiserweight title. But I'm sure there were well over 10,000 people each, and they were all in his opponent's hometown.
Yep.
So, when is the last time AJ's fought outside of London or Great Britain, England?
That's true.
So he doesn't have this. So the magnitude of the situation of stepping into somebody else's backyard, will this be 90,000 people versus 15 to 25,000? Yeah, that makes it a little bit bigger. But when you're already used to being all eyes are on you to want to lose because they don't want you to win, it doesn't matter if it's 500 people or 5,000 people. When that nobody in the arena wants you to win except for your corner, that plays a toll on that kind of experience that AJ's never faced before. Big events, yes. World title fights, I think it's about even. But I lean towards Usyk just due to the fact that the cerebralness, again, the event is not going to phase him because what he wants to do is win. Because like you guys said, he doesn't have another chance after this. He's 35 years old. He knows this is it.
You know what? David Lonhole in the chat says, and I think this offers a different perspective as well. He says, Usyk won't be phased by the fans. He's been doing it for 5 years. And that's the other thing is, Joshua's been fighting in front of big crowds too. But like Chief said, there's that big difference is they're all rooting for him. Usyk's been fighting when his top fights essentially have been in the other guy's hometown. He's not phased by big crowds. And yes, when he fought Brady's, when he fought Gassiev, those were big events. When he fought Bellew in England, that was a big event too. That was quite a sizable crowd. So he's not phased by the big crowd, the press commitments, the media commitments, having to do the interviews and all that. He's a consummate pro, and so is Joshua. So let's go back to the table here. When we talk about experience, man, I understand now why Butcher brought up the amateur experience, because that's the only real way somebody could get the edge here. I think they're about equal. What say ye?
I can agree with that. I can agree with that based off of bigger title fight events have all gone to Joshua. It's just the simple fact is, like I said, he's always had home field advantage, and that is an experience in itself. But based off of world title fights, they both fought in the Olympics, even though Usyk's career was longer. I would not object to an even call on this one.
Yeah, me neither. I say equal, and some people in the chat as well have mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat here. I'm trying to get some clarification. People say slight edge, AJ, but only slight. Being at Crypto Kimru says, being at this fight is at heavyweight, we should go with experience too. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is we're talking this fight is taking place at heavyweight, and Usyk has never really fought a tall guy in the professional ranks. I mean, the World Super Series of Boxing was a hybrid event between amateur and professional, but it still wasn't professional. You know what I mean? When he beat,
I agree. Yep.
I'm actually
equal.
I say we compromise and we go equal, but I wouldn't. Because again, people say, well, Usyk doesn't have a lot of experience at heavyweight. Yeah, but like as we said, he's 34. What do you expect him to do? Five fights before he gets to Joshua? These motherfuckers, he's a go-getter. 18 fights and he cleared out the cruiserweight division. He's not. So I think experience he's a special case where screw experience. I mean, heavyweight experience. It's about the boxing intellect and the acumen. So I say we compromise and go even.
No, precise in the chat said it's not even close. It's not even close in terms of experience.
Yeah, but see, I'm pretty sure what he's doing is he's factoring in the amateur thing. We're talking big fight experience here. We're talking about.
To be fair, if somebody else would have stepped up to the plate and COVID wouldn't have happened, we would have had one, maybe two more fights at heavyweight for Usyk. Mm-hmm. And since that came up and slowed everything down, he's not waiting anymore to fight like 5 or 6 more guys before he's 40 years old to get a title shot. He's pushing it now.
All right, here's what we're gonna do.
People are trying to just focus this. How can I say this on heavyweights? How many heavyweights fights has Usyk had? 2 fights. So yeah, how many fights does he need at heavyweight to start saying that he had enough fights at heavyweight?
Exactly.
Right.
10.
Okay, let me say this. Because we got a phone call here. 246. We're gonna get to you. So let me just say this then. Joshua has fought good heavyweights, right? But that's about like a 5-fight run. Usyk cleared out the cruiserweight division, and he has 1 decent win at heavyweight. So I think it balances out if we go and call it equal.
Yeah. Let's just call it equal.
Let me just draw. We can't spend too much. We're not gonna fucking spend an eternity here.
Nah,
So let's go with experience. We're gonna call it equal. All right, let's get to the phone call here because I don't want to keep people waiting too much. Give me 2 seconds. All right, let's go to 246. 246, you're on the air. 246, what's on your mind?
Good evening, guys. What's up?
Good evening. Doing fantastic here.
Good.
What's on your mind?
I want good. Calling all the way from Barbados. I want to say this. I want us to acknowledge that Anthony Joshua definitely has the experience in the heavyweight division. Not only the experience in fighting in the heavyweight division, but fighting against top 10 caliber fighters pretty much in the last, let's say the last 13 fights. So he most definitely has that experience. He has the experience. I watched Usyk against Chisora. I wasn't really impressed in that fight. Yes, he did show his ring IQ when it came to, in the latter stages of that fight. But most definitely, I saw him wincing at the power that, some of the shots that he received and so on. So this is a Derek Chisora that is not really that fit compared to Anthony Joshua. I mean, it's definitely not the same. And imagine Anthony Joshua really putting together his shots against Usyk. He has the weight advantage. He has the power advantage. He has the height advantage. He has the reach advantage. It's not going to be an easy fight for Joshua for sure. Usyk is definitely, when it comes to his ring IQ, he is definitely above a lot of fighters. But we must admit the experience and knowledge that Joshua faced in the heavyweight division over the last 13 fights or so. It must count for a lot, guys.
So you make some good points, but in what way does his experience factor in here? Okay, he's been fighting at heavyweight his whole career. What does that mean? Like, how is that going to play a difference here?
That's only because he's just big, right? Big guy.
Well, most definitely the weight advantage must be a factor. This is Usyk's first time really fighting a top 10 heavyweight, and he's fighting pretty much the best. So it's going to be difficult for him to really. He has to acclimatize quite quickly in the fight to not only Joshua's reach, his ring IQ as well, because Joshua has a high ring IQ. Maybe not as high as Usyk, but definitely he has one. And also then, that power must stand for something.
Okay,
so I think the fight is going to be a fantastic fight. I think for sure, Usyk is going to bring a lot of things that Joshua maybe have not seen before. But I think Usyk has never fought a fighter like Anthony Joshua before. And especially with Anthony Joshua with 60,000 people in the stadium, it's going to be a difficult fight for Usyk.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
Well, I'm expecting a...
You know where experience can play for both guys? I'm sorry, did I cut somebody off? Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just say, okay, so caller, thank you for your call. Good points, and we'll catch you on the next one, right, man? Oh, he hung up. All right, go ahead, Recognize. What are you going to say?
So real quick, so the experience level, okay, so basically the reason why I give it to Usyk is because of the level of competition he was facing. Now, okay, the heavyweight division is the heavyweight division, and I get that. That's where the power... So if you go with experience with fighting bigger men and power, like he's fought bigger men than Usyk. Okay, then you go with AJ because AJ's used to it more.
Mm-hmm.
But like with Usyk fighting these tournament styles, even in the pros, not just as an amateur, but even at the pro level. So basically you got to think on the spot, right? So it's not like matchmaking. I fight a guy that my matchmakers know who I'm going to fight. I'm fighting a guy who wins the bout. So that guy comes in and I got to fight that dude. And doing that over and over and over again. I can't tell people how fucking important that is. If you can get in a tournament and compete, not win. I'm just saying compete at that level. What that would do for your mental, your IQ to becoming a really good boxer, right? Or being a boxer that's successful. Usyk was winning these by a mile too. You know what I'm saying? So that experience level is going to be a factor. Now, the only thing he probably has to worry about is, man, is AJ so big that when he hits me, I can't take it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to react to that. That could play in. That could play in. I'm not discounting it. But in terms of like just pure experience, fighting the big fights, fighting these tournament style boxing, these fights that you get into, the guy, whoever wins, you fight that guy, and doing it over and over again, fighting on other people's backyard, still doing it, always with that, I gotta win. I have to win this fight, or I might lose on the scorecards. That mentality and doing it with not even complaining, it's because of the experience level. So I have to give that. Slightly to Usyk because of all the things I just mentioned.
Well, listen, point taken, and I will keep it equal because I mean, otherwise we're not.
To Barbados' question, that's why I stick with him. I stick with the guy from Barbados that called in just now. Basically, I slightly disagree with him, but of course, man, there's a lot. Experience is not just in the ring activity. It could come down to that, but it also could come down to you got hurt you got hurt several times. You knew how to get out of that. You fought tougher competition. You knew how to win those fights. So a lot of stuff come into mind when it comes to experience.
Absolutely, yeah. So listen, we got to call it equal, all right? That's what we're going to do, experience. Okay. Both guys at the profession, we're excluding all the amateur stuff and all that. It's experience, all right? Let's go to another phone call here real quick. Don't forget to hit the like button, fellas. Really helps us out. 956, you're on the air. 956, what's on your mind?
I hope the show's going good, BDA. It's me, Chichi Mech. Hey, I just want to say, man, no, I'm going to be serious, man. Listen, this is a incredible, amazing fight, man, and I want to say that Usyk and AJ is going to play out a lot like Teofimo Lopez versus Lomachenko. Usyk will be scared in there. What I've noticed about most, Ukrainian or most Eastern European fighters is that they lack heart. You can see Kovalev when he's fighting Canelo. Loma had no heart versus Teo. I feel like Usyk is going to be gun shy versus AJ, and the fight is going to go downhill. And Usyk will lose on the cards.
Hey, by the way, Kovalev isn't Ukrainian, so that's wrong. Number one. Number two, you say Loma has no heart, so when he was pushing Lopez back and snapping his head back, I guess that he was being I guess Lopez was the one with the heart there, and Loma was being a pussy by snapping his head back and beating him up. Anyway, whatever. Chichi, we gotta move on. I don't. I can't. He thinks we're Eastern European or something. He's always going after Europeans.
Give a shit. I think he does.
All right,
I'm from Eastern Europe. You ever heard of Puerto Rico? It's in Eastern Europe.
Well, you got like 30%.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I got like more like 70, man.
70, but anyway, there you go. European, Europeo. All right, let's go. Continue here with the. Oh, by the way, I wanted to play this. I wanted to ask the guy from Barbados if he was offended by Anthony Weiner when he was at the West Indian Parade. Remember that? Let me play this.
Anybody here from Jamaica?
Oh, I want to kill him, man. Barbados.
Staten Island. What a freak this guy.
Everybody here from Barbados is Barbados, pendejo.
I really do wonder what they found on his fucking laptop that they never said. Apparently,
I know what they found.
Oh, jeez, I don't want to know, man. Anyway, let's go back to. Okay, Steven Schneider in the chat says, Theo the Jew dragging out a mandatory $2. Okay, what the fuck? What is? He's not a fucking Jewish, man. What's? Man, Steven Schneider is going nuts these last couple of days, man. He's been on the warpath. All right, let's go back to the comparative analysis here. All right, so foot movement. I guess in other words, footwork. Who has the better footwork?
Yeah. Usyk by a mile, man.
Now, why do you
I got.
say that though? You got to break it down a little bit.
I mean, he's a boxer on the move, bro. He can move in different angles. He can come in, out. He has this crazy ability of like when he's going back, stopping as he's motioning to go back, stopping and fucking letting off a punch combination or at least a single punch, a hook. Like that takes footwork, man. You have to have good footwork for that. And so yeah, so I think I'm not saying that AJ's footwork is terrible, but it's not. I can't compare it to. I can't say it's better than Usyk. Usyk is lighter on his feet. He's, like I said, he's a boxer on the move. He's moving while he's punching and moving at the same time.
I let me say this, man. When he glides, fighting, going backwards, it's pretty impressive. Joshua can do it too. He can fight off the back foot.
Yeah.
But, actually, I'm going to get to the nitty gritty of that. Before we do that, shout out to Nicholas Arguros for his contribution to the Super Chat. He said, Usyk started at 15. Yeah, he didn't start off that early either. I mean, some of the Mexicans and Americans, Mexican Americans too, in the United States, they start off at 8 or 7. 15, Joshua started at what, 17 or something? That's what
18, yeah, 17, 18.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's not make it out to be as if, 3 years can be a big difference, right? But still, it's, let's not make it out to be as if, let's not make it out to be as if there was a 10-year gap in between experience.
Yeah, but he's probably learning how to box before that,
Yeah, that's true. That's why it can make a difference. But how big is the question. Now, going back to the footwork, Joshua does show good footwork going back too. But here's the difference, man. When it comes to, and again, we're just keeping it footwork here. Forget about the heavyweights, blah, blah, blah. When it comes to footwork, Usyk fought the best of the best at cruiserweight. He fought punchers. He fought precise punchers in there, people with very good precision. He fought quick fighters, brawlers. He never touched the canvas. He's never been off balance. He never got caught with a flash knockdown where his feet were tangled up. This guy's footwork isn't just about, because that's what most people think. Like, good footwork means whether the guy's fast, right? Whether he's moving around fast. Nah, it means are your feet set in place at all times to be able to punch? Are you always on balance? Equilibrium. If you get tapped, do you fall off? No, that means you're in great balance. If you get shoved, are you going to go flying back like Kelly Plant did yesterday? No. Okay, great footwork. Again, I'm not saying Joshua's footwork sucks, because if you watch his feet at all times, pretty good too. But I'm going to go ahead and give the edge to Usyk. Butcher, what do you think?
Where we're at now, I just came back. I had to go somewhere. Movement?
Footwork, yeah.
Footwork. Usyk.
Yeah. Again, don't get me wrong, man. Joshua's footwork is pretty good. Pretty good. But I got to give the...
I mean, it's not bad. It's not Deontay Wilder. He can move around the ring. We saw it against Ruiz. But here talking about effective movement, right? Not just wasted movement. And Usyk is the better boxer when it comes to movement. Yeah. No, definitely Usyk. No, not even debatable, in my opinion.
Okay, we're gonna give it to Usyk. The way he spins out of corners and all that too, it's pretty impressive. And pivots in front of his opponent, you gotta give it to Usyk. But again, with the dimensions that Joshua has and the good footwork he has, he could put it all together and outbox Usyk. It doesn't mean that because Usyk won this category, that necessarily means he's gonna outbox Joshua. Because some people, they just don't get nuance out there. They just look at the graphic here and go, that means Usyk's not going to win. Nah. Let's go to Chin. Now, this one does get somewhat muddied because we're talking about the heavyweight division here. But then again, Joshua's been clipped a couple of times and seriously hurt. So, fellas, how do we work this one out?
Yeah, again, I'm going to go with Usyk on that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but some people, I can already foresee some people saying, well, Usyk hasn't been hit by heavyweights, right? AJ, yes, he got hurt by Klitschko. Well, got dropped by Klitschko, got hurt by Dylan White, got stopped by Andy Ruiz, but all of these guys are heavyweights.
Yeah.
So that's
I think look, to be fair, like, okay, so Usyk has had 2 heavyweight fights, and I'm not saying that I go by the standard, but if you're a guy that thinks Chisora gave Usyk a fight, a hard fight, and you didn't think Usyk looked good, so that means you thought that he caught Usyk with some good shots, which he did, right? Chisora caught him with some good shots, and he was able to take it. I never really saw him hurt, like he's in trouble hurt, you know. Now I'm not saying that I'm of this thinking. I think fighting the individual could bring, it could bring different dynamics. So he's fighting AJ, who's a taller man, has longer arm reach. You never know how he's going to react to that when he gets caught with a big shot. But if you just go by the eye test, just that alone and watching the fights, I would have to say Usyk has shown a better chin, a better threshold of taking pain, right? Where he doesn't react. He doesn't get hit much too, though. He doesn't get hit much flush. So that also helps. That comes into the defense category. Right. So, yeah, I would say just the eye test, probably Usyk.
Bucho?
Usyk. I think his chin is pretty decent. He got hit pretty good by Gassiev, and he managed to survive that. And I think Gassiev actually hurts a lot of heavyweights. People are gonna think I'm crazy, but yeah, that's a story for another time. So no, yeah, Usyk chin.
Yeah, because look, I mean, I understand what people are saying. They're saying, well, it's a heavyweight though, BDA, and like you said, Bucho, is he was getting hurt by heavyweights. Joshua was. And Usyk was getting hit by cruiserweights. But let's not forget, man. Remember, they changed the cruiserweight limit to 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So essentially, they're heavyweights.
Some of these guys were coming in on the night of the fights. Like Gassiev looked like he was about 220, you know?
Right.
When he fought...
Gassiev, sorry to cut you. Gassiev, add a layer of fat around him. Can he end up like Andy Ruiz?
Hey, that's a good point, huh? That's a good point. Yeah,
I
he
mean,
could be a fat...
Andy Ruiz. Yeah, it's Andrew.
He's actually taller. He's actually taller than Luis, I believe. Let me check it out.
He's
2'3", maybe the same height.
6'3". I think he's 63 inches. Yeah,
but he's not fat. I mean, Andrew Ruiz, if he loses all that fat, what's his real weight? Or what would his weight be? 210?
Yeah, I would say about 210.
He's like a
cruiserweight.
Yeah, he would be better off as a cruiserweight if he wasn't so fat.
Gassiev is about the same height as Usyk. He's 6 feet 3 inches. 6 feet.
Oh, there you go. He's taller than Ruiz.
Yeah,
but he's just not fat.
Exactly.
Pure muscle. Pure muscle.
Yeah. Look, listen. I know people are gonna say, "Yeah, but BDA, the heavyweight's a whole different world." Yeah, but we're talking pound for pound here too. Usyk, he fought the best of the best at cruiserweight, never was hurt. Now, does that mean that he's not gonna get hurt at heavyweight? No, but we're talking overall here. You gotta take things into consideration. If he obviously, like, we can all agree Golovkin has a great chin, right? Now, but if he goes up to heavyweight, obviously he's gonna get hurt. But that doesn't mean his chin is whack. So
if he goes up to light heavyweight, he might get hurt, right? Like even super middleweight, he could get hurt by a guy that's kind of built similar to like AJ. AJ's a long, big dude. He's got long limbs, long arms. So his punch might come in a different angle that Usyk, it hurts Usyk, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. But if you just go by the eye test, who's gotten hurt more? Who's gotten stopped?
But let me clarify this then. We're giving Usyk the chin advantage because of what he's shown throughout his career. But that being said, if you go back, if you look here at the power section, you will see that we clearly gave it to Joshua. So if you connect both dots, it's all dependent on the heavyweight division. So yes, Usyk has the better chin, but in the heavyweight division, Joshua obviously has the power. So it doesn't mean he's not going to be able to whack Usyk out of there, knock him off the top rope. I mean, that's what most people are expecting too, that Joshua's going to be too big. So take it for what it's worth. We're giving Usyk the chin advantage, but Joshua has the power advantage. So it cancels, both things cancel each other out. So I think everybody could be happy with that overall analysis. By the way, somebody just donated. Hold on a second. The fuck is this?
I got it.
You got it?
Nicholas Argyros.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your contribution. He says Wilder the hardest hitting heavyweight, and he built like a cruiserweight.
There you go. Yeah, I mean that just goes to show you how things are different.
Yeah, what is?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the dude that he's not 240 pounds, but he's the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division. So just because you're not a big 6 feet 7 inch tall guy doesn't mean you don't have a good chin.
Sora should be like a super knockout artist.
By the way, I'm looking at the chat here again. People just don't understand what we're explaining. We're not saying that Usyk is not going to be able. Like people are saying, yeah, well, we're going to see who has the worst chin. Of course, Joshua has power because he's a big dude, and of course he can take Usyk out. But overall, Usyk has a better chin in his career because he's never been. He's been hurt once. He's never been dropped. He's never been stopped. Get it? I don't know. Some people you try to explain them 100 times, you just don't get it. Anyway,
okay. Let's take it to the heavyweight division with Usyk. When it comes to Usyk, he fought Derek Chisora. How much does Derek Chisora weigh?
He had a 30-pound. He had a 36-pound advantage.
He hit. Yeah. Okay. Who got hurt in that fight?
Chisora.
Did Chisora land any punches on Usyk? Maybe not flush, but he
did land a bunch of overhand rights flush on the. And by the way, that's a great point, Bucho. That should clear it all up there. But let's also talk about how, because people say, well, AJ has a glass chin. It's not the chin that's the problem. It's been, for the most part, it's been temple shots. And that's the danger of the heavyweight division. You get hit with that blunt force from a big 240-pound dude, whether it's on the top of the head, the temple, whatever, you're going to get wobbled, you're going to get shook. That's what happens. It's not about the chin necessarily. So again, just because we give Usyk the chin advantage here, it means overall. Don't make too much of it. Because I'm telling you, I think some people here they're either playing
we
stupid.
say something about the one guy and they get mad, and then we say something about the other guy and the other guys get mad. Like
I mean, listen, that's the nature of the game. Some people are playing stupid, or some people are just plain stupid. Anyway, I don't want to waste too much time on this. Let's go back to the comparative analysis here. Let's go to stamina. Ooh, who has the better stamina?
I mean, AJ fans are not going to be happy with this. The thing is,
trying to become like a wipeout.
I mean, AJ, okay, it'll make you happy, AJ. Yeah, but no, man, reality is Usyk has the better stamina, of course.
Let's put it this way: recognize anybody in the chat who believes that AJ has the better stamina.
Right. That's a better question.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that. Oh, and actually, if anybody thinks Joshua has the better stamina, please call in, man. Because here's the thing. If Joshua is able to outbox Usyk, they're going to go, oh, you see, we told you. That's not what it means. It means who can work the hardest. Because Joshua could control a fight at his pace, the way he did against Pulev and fight as Luis, and go 12 rounds. But if he throws combinations, he has to take about 2 rounds off to regain that stamina. So come on, guys. Let's. If you really believe Joshua has the better stamina, please call in. Because this one,
show good stamina against Vladimir Klitschko when he got hurt. You know, he was a little winded, but like he's still stuck in the game. Maybe you could say Vladimir left.
He slowed after that knockdown. He slowed down.
Right, that's the thing. So then after that, he started to slow down. So. Even in that fight, he was a little bit gassed, right? Like I think he dropped him in the 5th round and he punched himself out. Remember that shit? Kind of like punched himself out, and so in the 5th round, at the ending of the 5th round, he was getting fucked up by Vlad, and then in the 6th round he got dropped. He did a good job, like staying in the game. You could also say that Vlad was, he might have been punched out himself at that point, but still, he showed good stamina or good He showed good intangibles to stay in that fucking fight.
And you know what, man? Here's the thing, because like Joshua, he boxed 12 rounds against Parker, but that was Parker wasn't really pressing him. He was letting him do whatever he wanted. Now Ruiz, this is the fight that made me really question Joshua's stamina, because it was a fight as Luis, fatter than usual. He was letting Joshua dance around him, and in the middle rounds, Joshua was feinting and then going for the clinch. That means he was tired, and he gets his second win, which means he's in good condition. But what we're talking about here, who has the better condition? You contrast that to Usyk boxing circles around Chisora, who outweighed him by 36 pounds. The motherfucker was able to dance around for 12 rounds. That takes a lot of stamina. So I'm giving it to Usyk, man. Gonzalo, what do you think?
Thanks to
One
thanks
important
to-
point that you made there, BDA.
But hold on, Gonzalo. Sorry to interrupt. Butcher, yeah, go
just
ahead.
quickly, Gonzalo, sorry, just gotta mention overhand in the chat. Thank you for the tip here. We added a poll so people can vote. So go ahead, Gonzalo.
Usyk, what Usyk was able to do against Chisora, he was able to deal with the pressure and figure it out. So in other words, when the going got tough in the sense that Chisora pressed, he was never really in trouble, although he didn't look that good, but eventually he was able to work around that. Now, can Joshua work around whatever trouble?
You're cutting off, man. You're cutting off.
Gonzalo, you cut
Gonzalo.
off, man.
Damn, we might have lost Gonzalo.
Damn.
All right,
Yeah,
so
Gonzalo.
far, the little poll that we posted over here, who has the better stamina? Usyk 82%, Joshua 18%.
Whoa. So people are 82% of that. Well, how many people have voted though? Because if it's like
46.
Jeez, Louise, how many people are? To me, it's still a
Who's
50-50.
choosing? Seriously, who's saying that AJ has better stamina? Like they're being quiet in the chat, but they're voting for AJ though.
Yeah, some people love to play dumb. You tell them something and they don't get it, or they're trying to twist it around. My patience is growing thin with every passing day here. But all right, so with that,
Patience has his limits. Okay.
absolutely, I'm a man of. I try to read the Bible and uphold its principles as much as possible. But geez, Luis, Gonzalo, you're still there, or yeah,
He could wipe that out with the power department. He could wipe all that shit out with the power department.
Gonzalo, jump back out and jump out and jump back in, man. All right, let's go back to the list here. So listen, stamina, I think it's a given. Usyk has a better stamina, man, for sure.
I'm ending this fucking poll. That's it. Usyk 86%.
Yeah, I think it's a given there. And by the way, Usyk's stamina, it takes him more time to get to his second win. So I think that's why he has the advantage. But if Joshua makes him work, he could deplete that tank. So everything's relative here. And finally, we get to mental strength. Who has the mental strength advantage here?
Yeah, Usyk.
Well, I think it's because. Well, go ahead, Bucho. I want to hear from you.
I'm creating a poll over here.
Okay, well, let me say this.
Bucho's a man of the people.
That's right, yeah.
I'm waiting for the people to decide.
Joshua is by no means a mental midget. But again, we're comparing him to Usyk. Usyk's been to war against Hunter, against Brady's, to a certain extent against Bellew, and he was in there tough against the Bear in Chisora. And he never came close to breaking. We know that Joshua can break. He got buck broken by Andy Luis. So,
pretty much.
All things considered equal, because again, I know what people are going to say. Going to say, yeah, but Usyk has never fought Luis, so how do we know? It's like, okay, but we're talking overall in their careers. They've both fought at the highest level, and Usyk has never come close to quitting. Why? Because he's never been dropped. Why? Because of all the things we gave him credit for beforehand, the footwork, the IQ, and all that. So he's never been put in that position.
Raven in the chat is asking, what do you mean by mental strength?
All right, well, let's break it down. We're talking about when the going gets tough, who decides, you know what, I'm going to take a deep breath, bite on my mouthpiece, and get to work. Or I have confidence that I'm going to get out of this somehow, some way. That's what it is. And, Joshua, when he was fighting Luis, his tank hit the empty sign. He probably knew he could get his second win, but his brain and his nervous system was saying otherwise. It was like, fuck, you're getting hurt. I can't breathe.
Yeah, but he tried, though.
He tried, but he ended up quitting.
His body gave up. You could, listen, I'm just saying a possibility here. His body gave up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at some point, what else can he did get up multiple times.
Sure, but there came a point where he
what about the Klitschko fight? The Klitschko fight, he got dropped, managed to stay in the fight, and eventually, took out Klitschko in round 12 or something. So, what about that?
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a mental midget because, like you said, he showed hard getting hurt and coming back. But In the Luis fight, he didn't do that. Like LT said in that when he was on, he's like looking around, saying, "Where am I?" and all that shit. Like he wanted out, and there's no shame. Look, listen, would I don't think I would have. I don't know. I've never been in that position, so I don't know how I would have reacted. But we're talking about Joshua here, and we're comparing his mental forge to Usyk's, and I think it's fair to say that Usyk seems to be the more resilient fighter.
Yeah,
I mean, I think.
Well,
yeah.
People in the chat, the poll so far, 79 votes. Joshua 28%, Usyk 72%.
All right.
He has a better mental strength.
I agree, but again, just because this isn't, don't go by this by absolutes, people. Just because we're saying Usyk has a mental strength, it could mean he has a mental strength by a little, or it could mean it's by a lot. In this case, I think it's by a little, because again, Joshua did quit, but he's also shown heart in other instances. So don't take it as either or. All right, fellas.
Yeah. We're not saying AJ doesn't have any mental strength. Well, I'm not saying that. Definitely not saying that.
Absolutely. We got to clarify that for the autistic people and the less intelligent.
Even if we explain it to them, like we talk really slow, they will not fucking understand what we're saying.
Wait, could you repeat that?
We
No, I'm kidding.
we are haters.
I'm kidding. All right.
Haters.
Yeah, we're haters. Ugh, I hate that fucking. You a hater. Yo, bro, you be hating. Why you be hating? All right. Oh, we got a phone call. Oh shit, no, they hung up. All right, don't forget, fellas, hit the like button. The phone lines are open. The number is right there. I'm gonna leave it up there for a little bit. All right, we're gonna get to. Jimmy says, "Why can't I see the poll?" I can see it. Just go. You can just go to the chat there, and in the chat box, you should see it at the top. It's a blue. It's got a blue, 40 Cal says, my son is autistic, fucker. Well, then you should know what I'm talking about then. I'm not putting autistic people down, but I'm just saying some people, they act like they're autistic sometimes. And they're not even. It's the fad now, by the way. I've seen that people pretend to be autistic. I'm going, come on, man. You can't get attention any other way unless you're pretending to be autistic. Terry O'Connor says, that guy, he pretended he couldn't hear the referee screaming instructions to him, then pretended to be mad the exact moment he waved it off / quit. Again, it's was it an outright quit? No, because he tried his darnest, man. He got up multiple times, but it was just, he hit his limit. Everyone has his limit. It's like if you take those Navy SEALs, right, and they're at buds, they're getting beaten down, doing push-ups, going into the cold water and all that, and one of them quits after 5 days in. Of course, he showed heart by staying in there, but ultimately he quit. Doesn't change the facts, fellas. One hitter in the chat says autistic people have superpowers. All right, let's go back to the list here, because we're not done yet. We're just getting started. All right, now we break it down to precision. Who is the more accurate puncher in there? Fellas, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm setting up the poll.
Forget the poll, Bucho. Forget the poll. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go first because I think I recognize his MIA. When it comes to precision, man, Joshua has a pretty good jab, man. The way he was snapping Povetkin's head back after the first 2-3 rounds when it was a little difficult for Joshua, that's a pretty good jab. He was also tagging Parker with a jab. Parker's pretty loosey-goosey with his upper body movement, and he was able to catch him. Usyk's pretty precise too, but man, I don't know if we should break it down to statistics here and go for the punch accuracy. Because Usyk does throw a lot of punches, so therefore he's going to miss more than he lands. Whereas Joshua's more of a boxer puncher who's very selective with his shots. I don't know, man. Somebody bail me out here. What do you think?
Pretty close in the polls over here.
Let me check it out.
Precision. I think the most effective for precision, right, of their punches. I think AJ might win that battle.
I was thinking AJ he doesn't really look like a guy who misses a lot of punches. But then again, who is he fighting? I know that's gonna come up, but I don't care. He does land.
He throws a lot of punches. He's coming forward. He's pretty precise in that sense. You could probably say the guy, because it's the heavyweight division. I'm gonna give it to AJ.
Well, look at this. I'm putting the poll here up on the screen. Joshua 40. Oh, it's gone up now. Now it's Usyk 57, Joshua 43. So Recognize.
Usyk might win that battle too.
Recognize. What did you
I don't
say?
know.
You said Joshua.
So,
You
he might win that. Yeah, I'll give it to Joshua because of the power.
again.
The power.
This doesn't mean that he's the most accurate guy, and that's it. And Usyk isn't. We're just saying could be a slight advantage, could be a big advantage, but Joshua's
styles.
recognizes saying
Also,
slight. Yeah, what?
When you're a volume puncher, you're just gonna throw punches. Obviously, volume puncher, right?
That's
And
still
not all
good,
of them,
man.
not all of them are gonna be landing. I mean, that'd be insane.
Yeah.
But that's part of your plan. That's part of your plan. Is just to overwhelm your opponent, and then set up harder shots. But yeah, AJ he throws less punches than Usyk, obviously, but most of those punches are done with mean intentions.
Yeah, I think Usyk is more fluid. His precision is more fluid because he throws a lot of punches and he lands at a high percentage. But the more effective precision punching is probably AJ for the obvious reasons because he's the bigger guy, more power.
I will agree. I think Usyk's pretty precise himself. I mean, look at the type of opponents he's fought. All sorts. Brawlers, sluggers, slick guys. That's right, I said slick. And he's been able to tag all of them and beat them. But I'm going to give Joshua the slight edge because he's a big dude. He can't throw as many shots, so he makes everything count. And he's fought all sorts of good heavyweights too, and he's been able to catch him with that jab, with this combination. So I'm going to go slight edge for Joshua in this one. All right, let's go to the jab. Ooh. Who has the better, most effective jab?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, because they're both really good at that one. They both got a really good jab.
Now,
I'm gonna go again with physical ability, physical size. So sometimes it doesn't really work that way, but in terms of the eye test, I think the guy that has the potential to be more effective with his jab, meaning power behind it, length, AJ.
Bucho.
Usyk, because he was fighting the cruiserweight division, he's fighting guys that are lighter on their feet, so they're more mobile.
Yep.
So if you land a jab against one of those guys, you're really landing a precise jab. Your eye coordination is much better. The timing of the jab has to be different. AJ is fighting sometimes stationary guys to a certain extent. They're bigger, so maybe it's easier to land a jab against these guys. That's not to say that AJ doesn't have a good jab. He has a very good jab for the heavyweight division. From the heavyweights that I've seen, AJ has maybe one of the best jabs. Obviously, not better than Fury. But like I said, Usyk has landed his jab against more mobile targets. So I'm gonna have to go with Usyk. But I understand what Recognize is saying, and Recognize is being smart because a lot of people in the chat, they're only looking at the heavyweight division and how and when they analyze Usyk, they're just looking at his two heavyweight fights.
Yep.
So it just depends on the way you want to see things.
I'm gonna give Joshua the jab because we're not just talking about just the more. We already went through precision. Now we're talking power, and I think this is one of the reasons why Joshua is gonna have a bit of an advantage in this fight because he doesn't have to throw that jab extra hard. He's the bigger guy. He has to, even if he just flicks that jab and connects on Usyk, it's going to snap his head back. And the jab is one of the easiest punches to throw in the sense of doesn't waste that much energy. So I think for a guy like Josh...
I'm going to make a prediction real quick, BDA.
Yes.
I'm going to make a real quick prediction.
Quick one. All right.
Yeah. If Usyk, I want to say the obvious. If Usyk takes away Joshua's jab, he wins the fight.
Oh.
He wins the fight hands down.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Yo, in the poll already, 34 votes, Joshua 68%, Usyk 32%.
Okay.
All right, so people in the poll are saying Joshua the better jab by far. All right, there you go.
I'm going with the people's choice. Okay?
That's my job, man.
Yeah, you
got with the people's choice.
I've betrayed the people this time.
Recognize he's a people's person. When he goes to, like, if he goes to the Mexican parade, he's gonna do a Mexican accent. Anybody here from Guadalajara?
Anybody here for Durango?
All right. Hold on a second. So yeah, we're gonna give Joshua the jabberoo there. All right, fellas, I gotta go take a leak. So you fellas take it here. The rear hand, meaning the left for Usyk, right hand for Joshua.
We got it. No worries. We got it. Just go do what you gotta do.
All right, let me set up the poll here. Best rear hand. All right.
Best rear hand.
Mine.
Oh, is that Jimmy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Jimmy?
So, Jimmy?
What's going on, man? What's happening, my brother?
We're doing a little... Yeah, go ahead.
We're just doing a little a comparison in terms of skill set between AJ and Usyk. Yeah.
So who
I
has the
would say
best
most skill things. Most skills are going to be on Usyk, but the power. It's the size and power.
I agree.
That's what it pretty much comes down to, right? I just on Twitter getting my dick kicked in by people because I tweeted something out about Triple G, man. You get all oh man, you guys are worse than Canelo. I mean, Wilder hands.
Sure.
Why?
Sure.
What's that?
What did you say?
I just tweeted out a picture of Triple G throwing an uppercut. Fucking that crazy pitch in the first fight where he's like almost taking off Canelo's head, and I said, because right now everybody, I mean, since 160. Listen, let's be honest. Canelo's become the boogeyman of boxing. Everybody's like, what is he going to do to plan? And so I just tweeted out, let's remember, Canelo's the same dude who gave up his strap for 2 years to let Triple G grow older before he stepped in. And it still took a robbery to draw. So, of course, his fans are like, oh, get over it. None of them say that I'm wrong. That it just all get over it. You guys are fucking worse than fucking, the people who celebrate a judge's robbery. Like, if it was my brother fighting for a world title and I saw he robbed a dude, I wouldn't celebrate it. I wouldn't get on Twitter. You know what I mean? It's just, fuck you. It's just part of the whole, just the worst type of fans in this sport. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not a Canelo hater. See, I'm one of the few people who, I like Canelo a lot too. I like Triple G, but I just thought Triple G fucking absolutely won that fight. And the fact there isn't, like Haymanites, and a kid always comes to bat for me, like he said, there's not one credible member in boxing media or a single fighter, current or retired, other than Julio Cesar Chavez, who said Canelo won the first fight. What does that tell you? You know what I mean? What does that tell you? And, other than fucking people with 112 fucking followers hiding behind some fucking fake avatar running their dick suckers. I just,
all right, Jimmy,
that's why I don't go on that app.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that later.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, here we go.
All right, I said I'm back not because I think hey BD is back, but just so that we know if we can move on from it. What did you guys say?
Oh no, we're talking about Canelo something because Jimmy just got.
Yeah, I was just talking about Canelo, but we're getting back to the program now.
How you doing, man? Thank you for being
What's
on
up,
board.
BDA?
Good to hear from you, man.
My
We're
pleasure.
doing the old comparative analysis here. I don't know if you can see. Can you see the screen sharing thing?
Oh yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, because we're just comparing again the old thing: who has the better jab, the rear hand, blah blah blah. But by the way, don't you guys hate it when you fall in the toilet? It's fucking. I mean, I don't know what to do about it.
Well, when you don't have the seat down,
Yeah.
would you go to sit down without the seat down?
Yeah, man. I just.
That's the worst.
You drunk, man?
Was that?
You drunk?
No, I'm not drunk. What's the matter with you? Don't be.
All
I'm
right,
not,
so best rear hand so far. The poll, 58 votes. They say Joshua has the best rear hand, 55%. It's close though, 55%.
Wait, I mean, best jab. Oh, hold on.
No,
I
rear hand. Does that mean like your right?
The rear
cross?
hand is like, let's say, for instance, you parry the punch. Let's say you catch the punch.
Yep.
That same hand, boom, you hit the guy.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's one meaning. That's one meaning of it.
Well, put it this way. Usyk is a. Put it this way. Usyk is a southpaw. So what's his rear hand? The left, right? The power punch.
Yeah.
Right.
And Joshua's the right hand. So that's what we're going with here.
Well, so is that what it is? Who has the better power punch or more accurate?
Yeah, straight right.
Okay.
Well, depending on your stance. So the rear hand
not necessarily just hardest, but who uses it better too. Like who throws it more often? Who is more accurate with it to a certain extent? I mean, it's because I'll put it this way: we gave Usyk the accuracy advantage, but he could be less accurate with a punch than Joshua. You see where I don't know if you guys know where I'm going with this. In other words, Jimmy could be more precise than me. Jimmy could be more precise than me in most areas, but I might have the better jab. I might be more precise than the jab overall than his with his. But overall, his right hand, his left foot, he connects more often than I do. You see where I'm going with this? So in this scenario, even though Usyk had the better accuracy beforehand, he might not have the better rear hand.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys say here? We got to get to it. We got to make a choice.
Joshua, I'm going to go with the people. I'm going to say Joshua. It's not about
just sheer power. I'm always going to go back to just the power thing. If that right hand, if that rear hand or power hand can collapse more people, I have to give him the nod.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was just thinking about that. Yep.
Because
it's also pretty good. Like, the way he turns his body and everything, it's not a bad right hand, though.
It's a very good right hand. It's a very good right hand.
I like his ability to block, like parry a opponent's jab, and then he throws the rear boom. Like he could throw it like a straight, but it has like a little hook at it. But I think it's just more accurate than Joshua. But I think Joshua might have more power on the rear hand.
Yeah, man.
If that makes sense.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense to me. I think that sums it up.
Because
I'm gonna go with the people. I'm gonna go with the people on this one. All right.
Because Usyk tends to tap with that left hand, and I mean he can once when he lifts that elbow up, as we saw against Bellew, he can drop dudes, but he tends to just want to snap it there and then move back, snap it and move back. Whereas Joshua, he really commits with it.
All right, we'll go with Joshua.
Isn't his power punch his hook too? Doesn't he come off his hook?
Yeah,
more with his right hook. I think he puts a lot on his right hook. I don't think. Joshua definitely puts more on it too. He has more bad intentions. I don't think Usyk really throws many punches with super bad intentions. He's more of an accumulation guy. You know what I mean? Where Joshua will definitely try to put you out with it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go with right hand. We're going with Joshua. Now we get to hooks. Who has the better overall hooks?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Joshua.
I would agree.
It comes down to size, man. It comes down to size, bro.
Well, it's not just size, though. It's not just size, man. I mean,
he has a good right. Yeah, he does have a good right hook. Period.
Yeah, and the left, man. When he puts that 1, 2, 3, and then the uppercut. I mean, I mean, we're not going at the uppercuts yet, but when he goes 1, 2, left hook, and that right hook is pretty good too. I'm gonna go with hooks on Joshua on this one.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the people to tell me what to do. I'm a slave of the people. Can you believe that?
Did you?
Yep. Slave.
All right, so let's go to the poll here, see what people are saying. And we've got 69% of the people are saying Joshua has the advantage in the hooks, in the hook department, and Usyk 28%. I think it's pretty clear cut. I mean, Usyk is not bad at throwing hooks, but it's mainly the 1-2. Was that?
Sometimes Usyk hooks look wide, but they're effective, so I can't shit on that guy. But sometimes they look like just weird, maybe because he's a southpaw or something, and he's constantly moving. But sometimes his hooks look like they're wide.
Yeah, in the chat,
like
Dan Duke.
Do the L. I don't know how you know when you turn a hook, you can do like the Golovkin, like he really.
Like the Deloya. Yeah, the Deloya.
I told you we'll disagree with you. Bellew.
No. That was.
So what are you talking about? Turning it over? Are you talking about turning his wrist over as he's throwing?
The whole package. The whole package.
Like it's not like an L. You know what I mean? Sometimes it looks like he's. You know when you throw a hook, so they always tell you lift the elbow, you make like an L.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah, but sometimes he throws the hook and it doesn't look like he's doing that with his arm. It's not like an L.
Yeah, because somebody in the chat, somebody in the chat said, but Usyk's landed more hooks throughout his career. Yeah, but we're not talking about, like, I can throw 1,000 shitty left hooks and land them, That doesn't mean my left hook is better than the guy who lands less, but lands them with proper technique and has more of an effect. And that's where I'm going here with Joshua. He's got, like Butcher said, he's got the better technique with the hook. He just turns it over better. He's got the L position better. It's almost like a De La Hoya type left hook. Obviously,
I'm not saying Usyk hasn't been effective with it, and yeah, look at Bellew, how he ended up. So yeah, like a short, like very short left hook, says Loctus. Yeah. Maybe AJ is better. He's more compact.
Yeah, man, I'm going with AJ on this one, fellas, because we can't. Again, we can't overthink it too much here. Hooks, we go with. Yeah. Oh, now we get to uppercuts. Who has the better uppercut?
AJ.
AJ.
Yeah, I'm
all
gonna
day.
agree. I don't like the fact that he's dirty before he throws a right. He likes to grab guys
him,
behind.
hold him by the back of the head.
Yeah, and then he boom. But
that's on the referees, man. That's because it's what you get when you're the A-side fighter, and the referee is less apt to give you shit about stuff. Tend to get into bad habits.
He called Vladimir with that shit in the what was it, the 11th round when the fight ended?
Yeah.
That same.
That's almost a new phenomenon.
The dude, he did that for a big dude. This is why I say it's a good hook. He did that shit so fast that I didn't realize he kind of like when he swung, had his hand. When he swung his left, right? Was it his left? He swung his left, grabbed his head, boom, like real fast, one motion. It's dirty as fuck though, but yeah, he got that uppercut got there pretty fast.
Yeah, that's practice right there, man. You can tell this motherfucker practices that dirty stuff year round.
A lot of people think smacking a hand away. I've been seeing that more and more. People think that's dirty. Like, oh, that's not fair.
It's not. That's part of you could.
Yeah, no, you can knock like a lead hand. You can knock it down and hit somebody, or if someone's trying to do muffin ears, trying to cover their face. You can pull a hand down and hit.
Yeah, you can do that, but holding behind the head. Go ahead, Gonzalo. What?
Yeah, not hold behind the head.
Yeah, I fixed my Discord. That's parry. No, basically parry.
Sparring.
Oh, he means when you drop the guy's hand with the.
Yeah.
When they attack you.
You can barely hear you, man. Gonzalo, fix your mic. It's too low.
He's in the tunnel.
He was sounding fine earlier. He was sounding fine 2 seconds ago, and then all of a sudden he went down.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, now we hear you.
You're good.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
What's that, Gonzalo?
Oh, he said move on. All right, let's move on.
I thought he said cool. Cool. Anyway,
Cuckoo.
What's the difference? Yeah.
Cuckoo.
Body work. Who? Oh, this one's body work. Who has the better body work, or who does the better body work?
That's a good one.
Boy, Usyk, man. Usyk does great body work. Really go. I mean, when he's committed to the body, he has more of a sharper. He has more of a sharper impact. He's more accurate. So that could wear you out. I'm gonna say Usyk.
Yeah, I don't even think Joshua. He isn't known to go to the body, right?
Yeah,
That's not like
Usyk either. Really, listen. Usyk is not a. He does go to the body. Excuse me, he does, but that's not part of his main game plan. But he's a better body puncher because Usyk, Joshua doesn't really do anything to the body.
It's a crazy European thing. Eastern Europeans like Triple G. That's been always one of his biggest problems too. Lomachenko is one of the few Eastern Europeans who I think goes to the body nice.
Yeah, even Golovkin's the guy that we would have loved to have seen him go to the body more, but for some reason he loves to headhunt,
especially against shakeups. That's what cost him, I think, a strong victory.
Gonzalo, what do you say
against
then?
Canelo in the first fight when he had Canelo on the ropes, but I
stayed away from
his trainer said didn't want to risk going to the body against Canelo because of Canelo's.
That was smart. That was smart on his point. He's just understanding what Canelo could do. That's all that is.
Yeah.
I don't blame him for that one.
The heavyweight's a little different with the body punching because they got that power, so sometimes they're looking for that one punch knockout. I do see Usyk. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I do recall he throws a lot of jabs to the body, kind of like to draw the other fighter out. Poke and prod. see how that guy reacts, but at the same time, investing to the body. Joshua, not so much.
That's what I do with women too. Poke and prod, see how they react, and then I move on. But
Get a reaction out of them.
yeah. So the poll says Usyk 85%, 86% to 14% for Joshua. So yeah, Usyk is the better body puncher. But I mean, neither guy is what you would call Julio Chavez in there. So take it with a grain of salt as well.
Who do you think's the best body puncher right now? Side note, real quick, in boxing.
Alpha pound?
Yeah, champion. Right. Or just to make a champion to make it even easier. That way we have a good something to measure it off.
Lomachenko comes to the top of my head right now. Maybe
I would say come to the top. For me right now, it's Inoue.
He makes Inoue. Yeah, Inoue. I'm sorry, I forgot about him. Yep.
I would go with Inoue, man, because he not only goes to the body, but you can tell that guys get hit on the elbow and they go, fuck this. I don't want to. I mean, somebody said Errol Spence.
Yep. Sorry, BDA. Go ahead.
Yeah, somebody said Errol Spence. I mean, Errol Spence, but
he goes to the dick. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So that's...
Oh man,
I would agree with you, Inoue, man. His last fight, did you see him torture that fucking poor kid's body?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was. I mean, he deliberately tried to take that kid out with body punches. Who does that nowadays?
Exactly.
And he just wanted to show it. And that was impressive, man.
From the get-go, he goes to the body. He's not like Lomachenko will go to the body maybe later on, but whatever. But this guy, he will rip the body. And look, he stopped Donaire with a body shot, but it's just the referees for some reason got into Inoue's face and stopped him. I mean, but he could have easily counted Donaire out, man, if he would have picked up the count.
No, you're 100% right. Guys like Lomachenko go to the body when it calls for it, when the opportunity is there.
Yeah.
Whereas Inoue looks for the body shot. You know what I mean? Like he goes out. That's the punch he's intending on throwing. He'll do other things to set it up, but you can tell it's a body attack. You know, there's a difference from finishing up your three-piece with the shot downstairs, opposed to that was your intentions from the get-go, was making the dude shit blood.
All right, so that's body. All right, who has the better corner? Because Usyk is back with Papachenko. Joshua has his longtime trainer. What's his name? Rob McCracken.
Yeah, I'm going with Papachenko on that one.
Yeah, me too. Only because he's the catalyst and the architect of his son's career,
and he has superior genes, man. You ever seen his daughter?
Oh yeah.
God damn.
Yeah,
so in other words, you created Lomachenko and his daughter. Think about that for a second.
That's right.
No, he can't make a strategical mistake like he did against his son Lomachenko versus Teofimo. I know Lomachenko had an injured shoulder, but if it goes the distance and it's a really close fight, because we know that Anthony Joshua's the A side, you got to be on your P's and Q's as far as strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I'm not. You know what? Joshua has done well with his corner because when he got into that war with Klitschko, he stayed composed. He was tired, but he waited it out, got his second win, and then he took Klitschko out of there. Same thing against Dylan White. He got hurt, but then he came back. He was able to implement a good game plan against Parker, who's pretty awkward in there. But I'm going to give Usyk the edge because no one has been able to find a blueprint to beat him. And even the guys that came close, like Breedy's, and Usyk adapted, went to work, and ended up grinding out the decision. So I'm going to go with the Usyk's corner.
That was such a good fight, man. That was one of his best fights I've seen him in, man.
And plus, like you said, he lost. He lost to Ruiz. Whether the corner had anything to do with it or not, that was still a corner for one of his losses because he didn't fight that fight smart. Whether maybe Josh wasn't listening to them, but that wasn't the game plan to implement against Ruiz.
You could knock down Usyk because I saw Glowacki do it. Now, it wasn't an impactful knockdown, but that should have been the last round. That should have been called a knockdown for Glowacki. He still would have lost the fight, but you can catch him when he's backing up. When he's backing up, punch him, to the chest, to his body. But the thing about in this, I'm bringing it to his corner, right? The thing about Usyk is that if you don't get him hurt enough, where he's in trouble, he has to think too much about the condition he's in. his speed picks up, man. His speed starts to pick up. He starts bringing the fight to you. Next thing you know, he's draining you out. So whatever AJ's gonna do, he's got to make it. He's got to make it count. Because if he lets him off the hook, I think AJ's gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, man,
And
that's a great point. The stamina. It's so, I
Yep.
mean, everyone says it, but they forget it. A guy is only as good as his stamina. Because again, like let's say, take Floyd Mayweather. People, when there were fights where he was boring or when he had to move a lot, like against Maidana or the Castillo fights, but he had to be in incredible shape to pull that off. To box for 12 rounds, it's mentally draining and physically. You can run out of gas real quickly running around for 5 rounds. So
EPO.
Well, EPO too. There you go. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say here is, yeah, the stamina is going to play a big factor. And when it comes to the corner, look, AJ has a very good corner himself. We're giving it to Usyk, but it's not like AJ's corner is trash. It's just we're giving the edge to Usyk's corner here.
I also know that you guys went through precision. I think that's going to be a key factor because precision, he already got the power, precision and power. Because if the stamina is an issue, if you utilize your precision, you can keep the other guy honest if you're Joshua because you hit hard enough where you keep him honest and wary, in coming in or going on an attack. So if you're Joshua and you can keep the other guy honest, that will do him some good by being precise.
Absolutely. Yeah, if he can control the fight, then his stamina is going to be the better for it because he's going to be more relaxed. But if Usyk's throwing him off with feints, in and out footwork, punches from all angles, he's going to start thinking, what the F? And that's going to tire him out. And if he can't catch a second win, he's in trouble. Now, the poll, what did the people say here with the poll? Hold on a second. In the poll, people, when it comes to better corner, people went with Usyk. 75% with Usyk, 25% with Joshua. I think it's Usyk has a better, like I said, he clearly has a better corner, but not by that much. It's not like AJ's corner is trash. All right, let's go to cuts. Now, that's the interesting thing. When we talk about cuts, forget just cuts, facial damage. Whose face holds up better? Guys, I think this is about equal.
I don't recall ever seeing Joshua cut. I think it was cut once. No, that was Reese. That was Reese who was cut. Joshua cut him.
Yeah.
I don't recall neither man cut.
What the hell's the question? Like, who can sustain cuts better? Does that make sense?
Whose face holds up better to damage? I think both.
Well, Usyk has more zits.
Who's got paper skin or who doesn't? Call it paper skin.
I don't think either one of them are really cutters.
Yeah. Look, put it this way. Neither guy has Caleb Plant skin.
Yeah, paper skin or paper mache skin.
Yeah, tissue.
All right, so let's go both, man. Everybody agree, disagree?
Yeah, none of these two guys is Vito at a Fermo.
Oh, you had to take a
There's mosquito. Don't pick on the mosquito.
I would have assumed you would be. I would assume Jimmy, being a fan of Marvin Hagler, would be like, yeah, fuck Vito Antuofermo.
Oh, I was back in the day, man, but I feel bad for him, man. He went through some shit. Although he did get a gig on The Sopranos. So that was
really? Wait. Which?
Oh yeah,
part?
he was the. It was in the third season when New Jersey garbage men. Remember, Richie Aprile was dumping trash all over the fucking. He was doing pickups and dumping the trash back in the guys right in his parking lot.
Right.
The dude, Richie's right hand man, the guy who was in charge of the garbage division. That was Vito Antuofermo.
Whoa. Okay, I gotta watch that back again. I do have the second season, but yeah, that was second season 2. That was season 2. Just because I'm a big
Richie,
Sopranos.
Yeah, it was season 3. Yeah, Richie Aprile. That was his. I think his name was Vic in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Jimmy, it's the jacket. It's the jacket.
It's the jacket. Yeah. Richie Aprile's jacket. Remember that goofy thing he tried to.
And then he brings the family. He brings the Soprano family tripe as a gift. Like, who the fuck is gonna eat tripe? I mean, that's disgusting, man. All right. Well, actually, I've never tried tripe, so I don't know if it's disgusting. It just looks disgusting.
Very salty.
Very salty. I can imagine, man.
Yeah.
Let's go to the poll here. So when we talked about facial damage, people gave Joshua the advantage. Pretty even, yeah.
Yeah.
But we still gave it even. Vince Vegas says black don't crack. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm not even gonna read that comment. I mean, it's if you guys want to read it by yourself, but it's a crack joke essentially.
What does that mean?
It's a crack
Oh,
joke.
face damage.
Well,
you can't
you
really.
should have went to Harlem.
And it looks more. If you're red, like you're getting red, right? Like
Should have went to Harlem in the '80s. Tell me that black don't crack.
Oh, come on now.
Nah, I'm playing.
No, but Butcher, you're right.
Well, Butcher's right. White skin is going to show up blemishes.
Yeah,
obviously, right? There's going to be discoloration. You're not going to notice it much in a darker man. Like Andre Ward, it's a light-skinned black man would be. You would see them. So it really just comes down to the color of the skin.
Yeah.
Don't forget to hit the like button, fellas. Hit the like button. Really helps us out. And look, hey, we got through it at exactly 2 hours. Actually, less, because we spent about 10, 15 minutes talking before we got down to it. So, yeah, we finished this list stuff in under 2 hours. Good job, man. Everybody. We all deserve a clapperoo there.
Well, jumped in late then. I thought you guys had just started. No shit. You guys were on for 2 hours almost. Huh?
Yeah. I think we again, you know what thing is, Jimmy? People get all riled up by this list that we do. Like, for example, when we were talking about earlier, there was one that created a lot of controversy. It was ring IQ and experience. And people are like, nah, but Joshua has more heavyweight experience, blah, blah, blah. And they get all bent out of shape. And we're thinking, look, it's not an either or. Just because one guy gets the nod in this list doesn't mean the other guy completely sucks. But it's just some people don't seem to get it.
It's the same thing with if you back one box, you're supposed to hate the other one. You know what I mean? It's like you can't like them both. You just might want one guy to win more.
Yeah, you fellas out there. Yeah, those of you that think that way, you need to step it up, fellas. You need to step it up, man.
In ring IQ, I mean, you got to take a kid who's multi-fucking, world champion in the amateurs. What, a couple of hundred fights at least, right? In the amateurs.
Sure, yeah.
300. I mean, he's got a good ring IQ.
Yeah,
but this way, I mean, it's how many other guys are stepping up from cruiserweight into heavyweight and go, we'll see what he does, but it's going to have to be ring IQ is going to have pretty much what's going to beat him because he really can't go power to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be able to stand in the phone booth and just swap fucking shots to see who's got a bigger dick. That's not how this fight's going to be. It's going to take fucking ring IQ to win,
Yeah, man. And by the way, official scorecard in the boxing says precision should be for Usyk, man. Hey, listen, it's sometimes we disagree on the specific category, but we gotta go with what we've got.
I would have to go myself. I'd put my vote in for precision. Definitely Usyk. I think he's a more precision puncher and he's more accurate when he wants to be.
I can get what you guys are saying. I get it, yep. But in the heavyweight, man, that punching power, man, that precision could if you got that kind of precision, that could change the guy who's more accurate, right?
That's right.
Oh, that's a separate thing. That's a separate thing.
Well, no, I mean, like, let's say, for instance, you got more power than me, but I'm a little bit more precise. You're precise too. I'm just a little bit more precise, but my power is not equal to yours.
That's where the ring IQ comes in. The ring IQ of not allowing him to be the person in the better stance. It's not always just, you know what I mean? It's the person who's going to not allow the other dude to get in a good stance. It's going to be, no distance.
The key to victory for Usyk, and if it happens, you're going to see he took away his jab. The most important, he's going to take away his jab from him if he wins the fight.
Well, what was it? What was it that Usyk had said when the fight was announced? Like the path the man. Wow, fuck. What was the quote he said? The path that the man walks shall be the victor. Something like that. Fuck, I gotta look it up. But somebody asked us what was the final tally. So. Let me rewind here on I'm rewinding here on the video of the live stream to see if I can catch a glimpse of that. Hold on a second. Yeah, and please. Yeah, I'm finding it. By the way, yeah, please don't spam the chat. All right, fellas, the flow. Don't go around spamming.
You should put a poll. Who's gonna win, Usyk or?
Oh, Butcher, can you put that up? Well, yeah, put that up.
Yeah, I'll find it and I'll take screenshots and I'll send it to you.
No, I'm saying put a poll up. I'm
Have we done the predictions yet of like the actual fight itself? Have you guys done that yet?
AJ versus Usyk, who wins? Poll would be nice too. See what the chat is thinking right now.
Yeah. Okay.
All
So
right.
when it comes to the first page, because I can't put it back up, I have to go in the video here. It was that's it's
Take a
interesting.
screenshot.
Can you take?
I can take a screenshot.
Can you? Okay, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this thing is slow as fuck, man. All right, so we're gonna get to you the first page of the things we did here. Let me read a couple of comments here. Official Scorecard says Yaroslav saying we're waiting for that moment when the Brits start crying after the fight. Oh, come on, official, don't turn into one of those anti-Stu people. Iron Fist says I rewatched the Chisora fight and actually I'm more impressed than I was when I first saw it. Am I the only one that was actually more impressed after because I remember when I watched it I had higher expectations for Usyk, but then I rewatched it and I said, you know what? He fought a guy that outweighed him by 36 pounds, and he actually managed to hurt the dude. So, all in all, it was a pretty good performance. What do you guys think?
It was only his second heavyweight fight. He's still getting acclimated to the weight.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's... Triple JJJ says, he said, the man who walks dragging his knuckles walks the slowest. Nah, come on, he didn't say that, Triple JJ. What's the matter with you, man? It's fucking people,
That's
man.
funny.
No, it's not funny. Stop it. Stop it. Don't encourage me,
it's
Jimmy.
like
Don't instigate. No, don't egg them on.
Exactly. Yeah.
it's like Salito. Chisora was like what Salito was to Lomachenko. You know, that pressure style, bigger, that pressure style, and Usyk dealt with that. You know, he dealt with Chisora.
Yes, he did.
You know how Salito brought it. You know how Salito brought it to Lomachenko.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, basically.
I can agree with
Guy
that,
with
man.
a lot of knowledge.
Where are they holding camp? Does anybody know where Usyk is training?
Siberia.
I don't know, man. Hey, remember over at Second Renaissance, we watched that video of that. What do they call it? There was the Russian hydrogen bomb they dropped. It was a mega bomb, and Recognize goes, and these fucking Russians, they would they drop that shit wherever they wanted. Like they would drop it right next to a village, and they go, okay, let's see how many people died.
Yeah, just to see what the fucking radiation factor was. I mean, dude, they left the motherfuckers in Chernobyl for 2 days after they were out on the bridge watching the shit. Oh, look at the pretty sky. Because, radiation glows.
Yeah.
All this shit's coming down. Every one of them died. Every person who stood on that bridge that night and watched the fire died.
Jeez,
they lit the fire, you know what I mean? So, state secrets, when it came, they would let the bodies pile up over the state secret to go out.
Man, that's insane, man. Yeah. Hey, there's a video too them of when they dropped that bomb. When
pushing
they
the
launched the
communism
bomb.
because too many kids who don't know about it.
All right, listen, we got the list here. Okay, so for anyone that wants
you
to
got it?
recap, yeah, the first
90 seconds.
Hold on a second, man. That's loud, man.
You really don't like that bitch, do you?
No, she's a cunt. Sorry, but for my language. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
I have to apologize. It got me hard.
All right, so here's the first page. What the fuck? Here's the first page. Speed, we gave it to Usyk. Power, we gave it to Joshua. I think that's a given. Ring IQ, that was the one that caused controversy. That was the first encounter we had with Split here. We gave it to Usyk based on the variety of styles that he fought and the way he beat the fellas he beat. Experience, we actually gave it equal. We compromised. And we said, look, at the end of the day, yes, Usyk doesn't have that much heavyweight experience, but overall, he's fought at the highest stage, at the grandest stage possible. So has Joshua, even though Joshua maybe lacks as many names as Usyk did in clearing out a whole division, but hey, all things considered equal, we made it equal. Footwork, we went with Usyk. Now, Jimmy, would you agree with that?
Yes.
Gonzalo?
Absolutely.
100%.
100%, all right. Chin, now this is the one that caused controversy. We gave it to Usyk. And there was a couple of dumbbells in the chat going, wow, let's see whose chin holds up on Saturday. It's like, that's what we're saying is overall, the Usyk's chin has proven to be more reliable, but obviously at heavyweight it's going to be a different thing. But all things considered equal.
That's the whole thing, though. Are we talking about overall career or just about them two going into this fight? Like whose chin do you trust better going into this fight between them two?
Both. Yeah,
who do you think's got a more chance to get knocked out?
Oh, well, that's what I said then. That's why I then pointed out that, yeah, Usyk has a better chin overall in terms of his overall career, but when we encounter the power factor, we gave it to Joshua, so they sort of cancel each other out.
Exactly.
That was my logic. I don't know if people
No,
buy it.
that makes sense.
Gonzalo, what do you think about the chin that we did, that we gave it to Usyk?
Well, Jesus. Joshua's been dropped by heavy dudes, heavy guys. He's bigger. Does that mean that Usyk chin's gonna hold up better? That remains to be seen. He's taking the punches against the guys that he's fought. He got shook up by Chad Witherspoon. He shaked it off. He caught a good, believe it was right hand, and we saw what Chisora did. You guys were discussing that. I'm just gonna say it's kind of 50-50 on that. Lots of yeah.
All right. Okay, I got you. Yeah, 50-50 I could go because, like I said, both things balance each other out with the power. Obviously, Joshua's the hardest punch. So in this scenario, yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
And I was going to say, too, but like even with Joshua, he got stopped by Ruiz. But that wasn't because he was concussed as much as he was wiped. He was physically wiped. That was much as a exhaustion. No oxygen in his blood. He just couldn't take it. He was like what you'd say beat up, a classic beat up. It wasn't because I still have all this fight in me, let me go. You know what I mean? And then you wake up, you're going, what fucking happened? It wasn't that. He was sucking wind, dude. He was guppying. He did not take that fight serious. He didn't take his training serious. I think the nerves, New York City, everything got to him. I'm not making excuses at all. I'm just saying, I think it was more of a physical exhaustion than it was concussiveness. You know what I mean? Like rattled his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
that's why.
Another,
you know what I mean?
That's another thing that might come into play. Like what you're mentioning. If Joshua drops down in weight, which I believe he is, to fight Usyk, that might impact his ability to take a punch, absorb a punch.
That's an interesting point, huh? Yeah, that's true. Because hey, he showed up for the. Well, anyway, we'll talk about this on Friday. But yeah, that's an interesting observation there, Gonzalo. I hadn't thought about. There's a phone call. What the fuck? Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Huh. Okay, because I thought. Okay, let's go to it. Hold on a second. Let me boost the volume up here because the woman there was annoying me. Let's go to a phone call here. Let's go 484. You're on the air. 484. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can indeed. What's on your mind, my friend?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, good to talk to you guys. I usually listen to the show afterwards. I usually don't listen to it live, but I've called before. My name's One Hitter. But yo, do you guys think that Usyk can win a decision though?
No.
Do you think he can win a decision? Do you think he could get a boxing decision on Joshua in London?
No.
Yes, I do. I personally think he can. But it would have to be, you're asking Kenny, meaning if all things equal, if he really put it on him like it was so obvious, but then can he do that? But if it's close, if it's where most people think he won, but it could be a couple of swing rounds, no, I can't see them taking it from Joshua. But I can't see a straight-out robbery either.
Yeah, One Hitter, I have a hard time seeing the judges giving Usyk the decision. I'll put it to you this way: if he wins every round, he's gonna get a draw. Well, One Hitter, what do you?
No,
think?
You're right, Judy. I try to have more faith in you, but you're right. It's not disgusting.
Well, One Hitter, what do you think? What's your prediction for the fight?
No, I think if Usyk can't knock him out, which I think there's no way he can knock out Joshua. I just don't think he has the power at heavyweight to knock out Joshua. I mean, Joshua's taking the best punches at heavyweight, so I don't think that Joshua's going to get knocked out, even with his bad stamina. I just don't think he's going to get knocked out by Usyk. So it's going to go the distance. I think Joshua has a better chance of knocking out Usyk, and I think Joshua's going to win. It's either going to be by decision, it's going to be a shitty decision, or it's going to be Joshua by knockout. I mean, those are the best odds, I think, in my opinion.
I think you're right, man. And see, people are saying, oh, just go, you're already making excuses. Look, Does anyone out there really think that Joshua's not gonna get the benefit of the doubt in England? I mean, let's be real, man. Come on, it's like saying Canelo's not gonna get the benefit of the doubt in San Antonio or Las Vegas. It is what it is. It's the nature of the boxing world. It's the nature of the boxing game. Anyway, one hitter. We do have to move on, but hey, drop by the Second Renaissance one of these days.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, when I have time. All right,
man.
Peace out, guys.
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah, he was the one where we were talking about the NoFap, whether it really does give you superpowers. Well, not superpowers, but whether it gives you better strength and all that. And I think he was getting into it with somebody in the chat about NoFap. But anyway, yeah, I mean, guys, does anyone really fucking think that Joshua's not going to get the benefit of the doubt in England?
Well, where did they already name the judges? Where are they from?
Yeah, there's, I think, one's from the Ukraine, apparently. Hold on, let me check. Somebody put it in the Discord. They announced the ref and everything, I think. Hold on.
Yeah, go to the community section of the BDA Boxing channel. I posted a tweet.
You know why I don't like when they use say like, okay, you have a fighter from the Ukraine, and then you get a Ukraine judge. Why I don't personally like that? It's because the onus is on him to be like, well, I can't. It's human nature to think I can't look fucking like a homer. I can't look biased. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So it puts it. You know what I mean? Why have a judge with that on him? Why not have a judge from Germany, Russia, or fucking South Africa and Canada? Like, why not get neutral state judges who just don't have a history of fucking bullshit, fucking decisions?
I agree with most of what you said, but I cannot go with the cursing. That was a little bit too much, man. But you're right, man. I mean,
the guy who dropped the C word.
I said I was sorry, though. Bastard. I said I was sorry. Anyway? Listen.
Okay, you did say that.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for the list here that Bucho talked about in the community section, but Bucho, things are fucking slow with this one, man.
Okay, hold on. I'll get it.
Did you put the poll? What's the results of the who's going to win the fight?
Yeah, it's 107 votes, 50-50. I'm not even kidding, man. It's 50-50.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Let me see.
50-50 with what? What was the poll for?
Who's gonna win the fight?
No shit. Right now it's 50-50, huh?
103 votes and it's 50-50. See, that's it seems like they peered inside my brain or something, because that's the way I have it. Actually,
they have to be 107. That means
I think there's a delay.
50-50 exactly.
There might be a delay there.
Well, I guess the percentage. Yeah, but slightly.
Look at that.
Oh, it moved.
It moved.
No, it didn't.
Ah, fuck.
No, it's 50-50.
You're like Josh Costanza when he got the massage. I think it
moved.
moved. Yeah.
No,
but
does this fight take place early? Because it's in what?
Well, it's going to take place
yeah.
It's going to be about 5 p.m. here, or maybe 6 p.m. the main event, so it's probably going to be over there at 11. They're going to walk into the ring at 10. Yeah.
Well, Philippines, that'll be like at 11 in the morning for Gonzalo.
No, it's like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because it's in the. Jeez, Luis. All right, so here Bucho posted the thing here. All right, it's Michael Alexander will take charge of Joshua versus Usyk, and Howard Foster, American Steve Weisfeld, and Ukraine's Viktor Faseshko will be the 3 judges at ringside. Huh, all right. I don't know who this Michael Alexander is. I'll be doing my research for sure. And I am prepared.
Were the other 2 countries, Ukraine and what the other 2 countries?
Well, Howard Foster. I mean, he's American.
Yeah. I'm assuming Foster's from the UK.
Okay.
I'm assuming, because they didn't mention from where he is, so...
Yeah, that really doesn't matter, that the guy from the Ukraine, the other judge, because I remember in the Fury Wilder, in the first fight, there was a UK judge, and he actually gave it to Wilder, I think, or gave it a draw. I don't know. He didn't give it to Fury. So you would think that the British judge was going to favor the British boxer, and he didn't.
Right.
But that's what I mean, though, Bucho. You'll see that happen a lot. You know why? That was the whole, because they feel they're from the fighter's country. They don't want to look biased. So mentally, I think sometimes they give rounds to the other fighter so they don't look biased.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, can I just real quick? So we had that first list here. Most of it was for Usyk there. But then if you went to the second one, the second page, it became
Nope.
Hello?
Yeah, Joshua took the second half.
What happened?
Yeah, I think BDA, bruh, something happened with his.
Did everybody just drop off and come back on? That was weird.
Because I thought something happened. I think Mr. BDA is having some technical issues.
Yeah, because BDA was talking, it went dead, then it came back, and I heard recognize. That was weird.
Yeah. Let me check the chat. How is?
But you know what cracks me up, man, on the show with BDA, right? You definitely it just lately sometimes these videos are like, man, I don't know, Bucho, you're like, I got it. You do that all the time. It's actually funny.
Teamwork.
You guys have been friends for a long time, huh?
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah.
I like how
you
you just
tell.
like, yeah. I've known that asshole for a while already.
No, you can just tell you guys have known each other for a while.
Like
You guys are like brothers, you know?
Yeah.
The way you talk and shit, it's funny.
Shit. 1 foot out the door says BDA dropped out.
No, I didn't drop out. I'm back. It was just listen.
Look
if I ever, I had technical issues. If you ever hear me drop out or something, just do what you read the chat here on the Discord where I said keep talking. I actually said it pretty.
Yeah,
you
they
wrote
were
it?
talking shit about you, BDA, when you
I heard.
Gonzalo, you fucking cop.
I'm a rat. Gonzalo, you rat. You rat. And I always knew you was a rat.
Hey guys, in the chat, hey guys, in the chat, Jamie Lee saying USA talking about judging. Ha 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 ha. We're not saying British judges are the only ones that are might be biased. I mean, that happens everywhere. You go to Germany, you can get robbed in Germany.
That name is Jamie Lee, by the way. That's a woman's name. Get a real name. Get a man's name there, and then you can come back and talk shit. All right, listen.
You know what's weird? When I was a kid, Jamie was a man's name. And now in the 80s, it kind of turned to like more females had it. It's
like
it's
Jamie
weird
Lee,
here in this country, anyways.
Like Jamie Lee Curtis, I thought she was a man.
Ah, come on, that's an urban legend.
Both.
It's an urban
Remind me of a
legend.
porn star in her days.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, so
she's a hermaphrodite too, isn't she?
That's an urban legend, I think. That's an urban legend. All right, now if we go back to
is it? Okay, sorry, I fell for it.
This is the second list. This is the second page, and this one you can actually see. We actually give a lot of the firepower, especially went to Joshua in terms of precision, jab, rear hand, hooks, uppercut, and then the cuts were equal. So, man, we got ourselves a fight. And listen, for the people that say, well, you know, he can't, he's not going to be able to stop Joshua. Don't forget, Pacquiao, somebody mentioned in the chat, Pacquiao stopped De La Hoya. A death by 1,000 cuts, like Dory Merchant said. So, you never know, man. You never know. When people get tired,
if you frustrate somebody hard enough, right? Frustration takes the wind out of them, too. You take the fight out of somebody because you can take it out of them. You can stop them just like that way, too. It doesn't have to be always... You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. One shot at a time.
Exactly.
The pool is 50-50, guys.
What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm actually... I've been for the past... Since the fight was announced, I've been 60-40 for Joshua. But, man, most people are seeing 50-50. Hey, listen,
what about... What's Vegas having it right now? What's Vegas odds? Does anybody know off the top of the head?
Bucho, I think you knew the odds, right?
Yeah, I have a picture.
It's a picture. Mr. Prepared's got a picture. He wants an award now because he's got a picture. Good for you. Good for you.
Fucking Jesus.
I'm kidding around. Man.
I'm just ignoring it.
Yes. I'm kidding around, man. Jeez Louise.
Oh man.
No, because I heard Bucho was talking about the odds on the last episode. So okay, yeah, there you go. He's posted. Okay, so. What do we got here? We've got Joshua is minus, so he's like two to 1 favorite essentially to win the fight. And what was the one that you said, Bucho? That I think Usyk 8-round stoppage or something was 8-1.
Yeah, no, Usyk by stoppage yesterday was 8-1. Now it's 7-1.
Oh, okay.
And what is this way? What's Canelo? Wasn't it like 10-1 or some crazy shit?
Yeah. That's no. He Canelo against Caleb. Canelo is a 10-1 favorite. So you gotta put $10 to win $1.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
That's officially no. That's like if you do 10-1, I think that was the cutoff in the old days. They used to say that was an official no-hoper. If Vegas has him down by
That is a no-hoper, yep. That's exactly what that is. 10,
fuck was that
10
voice,
to 1, you got no chance.
Yeah, because more than that, what's the point? Like, who's gonna $20 to win $1? That
I was stretching. Sorry, BDA. What the fuck happened to your voice?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, that's one of those. That's one of those bets when you just got fucking goofy money because you're a dealer or you just have your silver spoon boy and you just want to throw 10 grand down on Plant as a knockout because the payoff is outrageous.
That's right.
But
yeah,
so for you bet 100, you win 1,000, right?
yeah, right. For $100, you take that $100 chance. Is it really $100? To me, it's like throwing $100 at a fat stripper. Why bother? It's just a waste.
You think it was kind of absurd? You think it was kind of absurd that Caleb Plant said, "I won the nationals, and that's why I'm going to beat you."
Yeah,
I was the underdog and I won the national championship. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Gonzalo, why did he say that? But Gonzalo, why did he have to go back? Why did he have to go back to the Nationals, brother?
Because
he has nothing to talk about.
Resume's paper thin.
Exactly. Bingo. Dude, he was matched softened in silk pajamas. 158 is the combined fucking world's ranking of his last 10 opponents. That's embarrassing, dude. I mean, literally, the greatest fucking fight was the one-hit wonder. Usyk or whatever his name is. This kid has not fought anybody. He's never been tested. He's never not gone into a fight where he's at least a 4-1 favorite.
So Canelo's cherry picking then.
Oh,
it's not that he's cherry picking. He's the dude with the red belt. If he was like, if Caleb Plant was, I would definitely call it a cherry pick, brother. If it was just some random, like, oh, I'm going to fight Caleb Plant. But he's at 160. That's the last strap he's got to get. I'm sure he would have went, whoever had it, he would have went after him for it. Everybody else, he wants that belt. He has no respect for Plant, and I really fucking... And you see I watched that a few more times, by the way. I only saw it that one time, really watched it. He was running his mouth, man. He was right in Canelo's face saying shit. Yeah. I'm surprised that he wasn't expecting to be shoved. That's what surprises me. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you didn't think you thought he was just going to take your fucking, run in your fucking mouth like that? He wasn't going to do something?
That's a good point, man. He was, and then he goes, well, he pushed me, man. And then Canelo goes, yeah, well, you were talking shit. Now, I don't.
He said when he mentioned his mother.
Right, when he called him a motherfucker.
I mean,
he said it on Spanish TV there.
Yeah, but Caleb Plant is really cringe.
Didn't he say motherfucker himself? Didn't he say it? I've heard him say motherfucker.
Exactly, Jimmy. That's a good point. That's what
Canelo doesn't.
So you know what I mean?
Canelo
he knows exactly what that is. He just doesn't want that fucking clown. And because, dude, if we're sitting there talking about his resume, you don't think in between when that fucking buzzer goes off during his training, what do you think those guys are talking about? They're sitting around laughing at this dude's resume. Probably got his fights up on the big screen. Going, look what this kid has fucking fought. Dude, he couldn't stop Caleb Truax. For the love of God. He's not going to knock out Caleb.
Thunderdome said it last night on his stream. He said the reason why Canelo got frustrated wasn't necessarily the motherfucker thing. It was because he was calling him a cheater, probably. That's what got to him.
Of course it was. He went in there up against that kid's face already hating him. From the bitch and the fucking drug treat. He already hated him to begin with. He was waiting for an excuse to shove him. And he should have known that, being from the streets. You know what I mean? This kid's from the streets. Like, dude, did you really think you were going to talk to Canelo Alvarez in his face, call him a bitch on social media, and then fucking stood up there with your token head all yapping? Clown. And then you did that fucking half-ass sucker slap and got fucking two-pieced up.
And then, but Jimmy, and then the fact that he said on Twitter, he puts a photo of his fingers grazing Canelo's face, and he goes, "Yeah, I missed. Fuck that shit." It's like, what the fuck?
But you know what's a good point? Did you see Haymanite's tweet? That fucking picked it up. He's got a picture. He's got a tweet out, right? Actually, I should just put it in the thing. It's when I go grab it, you'll see it. It's perfect. Caleb Plant is the only one who threw a clenched fist, though. It's right there on fucking snapped in a photo. There's Canelo cupping him upside the right with the right hand and following up with the left. And both hands hit him with the glasses off because it's with the pitches. So you can actually see his skin being pushed. and it actually ripped from being pushed, I think.
Huh. Okay, that's interesting.
I have the picture.
Throwing a shot. It's a fist. Get it right now.
People get obsessed, man, with this stuff. Like, oh, he connected or he missed. I'm sure if Canelo goes farther back, he probably misses himself. So sometimes you want to catch a punch where it's not going to impact you as much, but you can roll away from it, even though it might graze you. That way, you're still in position to punch back. Some people get obsessed, like, with the little bitty things. Oh, he fucking missed. He connected.
But you know what, though, Canelo? I mean, Gonzalo, he got torched. If you go on Twitter, bro, he got ratioed, man. People are fucking drilling that kid. Like, I don't think for every 10 tweets, there's one tweet in support, and the other 10 are just clowning him. Like,
hey,
but the fact that he keeps going back and tweeting shit tells you where his mindset is.
Imagine he talks all this shit, everyone hates him, and then he wins. He will never stop talking.
Epic.
He will never stop talking. Yeah, he will never stop.
That would be funny as fuck.
He would get pulled over by.
I don't think he gives him a rematch. He's gonna
try.
Oh,
no way!
He would try to
pull
a
rematch. He's just gonna.
Rahman beat Lennox Lewis, and then Donking was with Rahman, and then Donking was planning on not giving Lennox a rematch and going to China and fighting Brian Nielsen or something like that. Remember that?
Yeah.
It would be kind of like that.
Or it would be kind of like.
He's getting $10 million for this fight, right? Caleb Plant. He's getting 10. Am I right about that?
Yes, $10 million.
Okay, so let's say if he did somehow beat Canelo, he would fight him. You're gonna have to probably pay him $20 million.
Oh yeah, double. He would get double.
Question would be: would you, if you're Canelo, would you need that rematch back so bad that you'll pay him the 20? I think he probably will.
Of course he would. Yeah.
He's got to be dazzling on the night, though. He's got to be like spectacular.
To be
absolutely, man. He's got a man. If he wins, like Butcher said, I don't see him giving him a rematch. And he probably says, he talked so much shit that I don't want to give him a rematch. Like somebody else.
He would milk it. He would fight somebody else. Eventually, maybe he would fight Canelo, but in that, yeah.
You know how? You know why? I'm sorry, but I've heard. This is the rumor I heard. A few guys talking, right? We were, in the chat, and they were saying they can see if it's close, them giving a robbery in, name and plan. The reason being, that would almost guarantee Canelo, because he's a free agent, to then Heyman could say, okay, you want the rematch?
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's a 3-fight deal. Now we have Canelo Alvarez for 3 more fights.
Canelo might have to. Listen, Canelo
so
got
think about that, right, dudes?
Talk
about incentive for robbery.
Canelo
has. Recognize.
No, I'm sorry, man. I was going to say real quick. Canelo has a lot of pull. So there's a lot of, again, Al Heyman might be battling for position, for the best judges to be favorable to Caleb Plant. But at the end of the day, that still might not work out. But if it does, I understand exactly what you're saying, Jimmy. If it does work out, I could see Heyman yeah, okay, no problem, bro. We make this rematch. You got to sign a 3-fight deal with me.
Of course, brother. 100%. That's what it would be.
Do you guys think that Canelo already has that covered in the contract, though?
The rematch clause?
Yeah.
Did he sign a rematch clause?
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't.
It's possible. Canelo, it's possible when it comes to Canelo.
It's that stupid, or I don't know.
Right. And but I think that it would Heyman would get him for at least 3 more fights, and that's the way I think he would agree with pretty much anything to get the rematch, because it would be I think a pretty horrible decision. I just can't see him. I don't see him having the guns, the power. Hey, if the kid smacked hard, I'd say okay, he has the power to keep him honest. I just don't see that power.
Yeah, and another reason why this might be interesting is because Canelo might get robbed, and it'd be nobody would be expecting that, right? It's always Canelo who gets the benefit of the doubt, but hey, maybe Caleb Plant does get it because of what we're talking about, right? The fights with the PBC and all.
And it's 100% PBC controlled fight too.
Yeah.
It's not in conjunction with anybody, so Al has full say. I mean, it would have to be a pretty fucking close fight. And again, if Plant had the power...
maybe Canelo's just banking on himself on this one. Maybe he's like, I'll fucking knock this guy out. I'm not even worried about that.
Yeah, man.
No, it could be. It could be. It could just be like, yo, they're giving me $40 million. So what I had to give up was total control of everything that's gonna go on. I don't. This is what I do. This is what I believe until I'm proven wrong. I do believe that whatever Canelo's going to do, if Plant needs to do whatever he needs to do, he's going to be allowed that opportunity.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
In
I
the
mean, that's
chat- in the chat LT box it says Canelo has rematch clause if he loses.
oh, there you go. Yeah, he'll enact
probably
that.
gave him that. He probably said, "Look, man, we got to."
All right, listen. We got Precise just jumped out. Okay, because I wanted to see what he wanted to say, but we will be leaving soon. But I just wanted to say the poll here has moved. We're into 153 votes for who wins Joshua Usyk, and now Joshua has a slight advantage at 52%. I think
He's winning now.
the British people, have come in, or maybe it's the Nigerians. Maybe it's the Nigerians. Oh, Nigeria.
I am Nigeria. Talking like that guy Haitian Sensation.
No, Haitian Sensation is okay.
Bro.
Salute everybody.
Salute
Haitians,
everybody.
Bro.
Nigerians,
let me tell you, bro.
The night of the fight is going to be fantastic, man. You're going to have AJ, and he's going to be Usyk. Another thing, BDA. What's going to happen when Usyk gets dropped?
You're creeping me out, man.
You're going to drop some more bros in there, bro.
Yeah, more bros.
All right, so I wanted to see if Precise was going to jump back in, but we do have to go because I wanted to keep this one under 3 hours. So listen, if anybody wants to jump in, and that Friday, we're going to be doing the open lines Friday again, so it's going to be open panel. Everybody can jump in.
I think I'm gonna do a stream, man. I think I'm gonna do a stream.
Oh,
all right.
Nice. You doing one tonight, kid?
Yeah, I think it won't be at midnight. Give me let me check in, man. I gotta check in with a few people. You know what I'm saying? I gotta check in. All right.
He doesn't have to check in with anybody. He's just
I don't check in with nobody.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Just
but
go
yeah,
to the
man.
bathroom or something.
No, but yeah, recognize the streams at night, man. They're spot on. They're every person comes out of the woodwork for his streams. They're the highlights of the night, of the midnight, and go check them out, man. They're fantastic. He'll let anybody in. So don't be afraid.
Even Satan. Yeah. Satan could come.
Who?
Satan.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I love Satan, man. Come on, man.
Now, see, that's where I draw the line. Satan jokes, no. All right.
It's just recognize. Yes, how you doing? Welcome to the show. You're a dead man.
I've always wondered if Satan shows up, he probably shows up as a woman. Like fucking hot ass woman with big tits, big ass, and then just tries to get you to do dirty stuff. That would be my version.
It'll be the last person you expect. It'd be the old lady in the room nobody notices.
Oh,
no, you know,
he sees everybody's true character, so he can use it against you. He'll always be indispensable.
You know who saying this? He's that hot woman that's winking at you. She's the perfect girl, the girl that you always dreamed of.
That's right.
She gets you that night, right? You do everything, and then in the end, she turns out to be a man. She goes, "Hi, buddy."
Oh, yeah, that's yeah, pulls it out, and oof, it's go time, whether you want it or not. All right, now listen. Tony Yayo in the chat says, I told Elvira to call me. Not sure. All right, listen, we gotta go. Thanks everybody for joining us. Really appreciate it. It was a fantastic episode. Shout out to everybody who joined, everybody who donated the super chat. Again, for some reason, I cannot go back and see who donated. YouTube used to allow you to do that. Now it doesn't. So, but anyway, you guys know who you are. Really appreciate it, man. Shout out to Lobito, aka Gonzalo, who dropped by. Jimmy, recognizing, of course, King Bucho. Thank you guys for... Oh, Chief, too. Boxing Chief was here earlier, but he had other appointments to make or to adjourn. Oh, hold on a second.
Barbecuing.
What's that?
He's barbecuing, I think.
Wait, hold on a second. Precise says the link didn't work. Fuck.
Well, so tell Precise to upgrade his fucking Wi-Fi. What the hell?
I mean, he's fucking in Ecuador. I mean, we can only expect so much from... All right, hold on a sec. I just want to hear his take on this, and then we do have to. All right, you guys keep on.
I know he will. He did say that Plant has the ability, like, well, we all know if he actually utilized his body frame and did everything right, you know what I mean? He could
but that was
work it out.
I don't know if you wanted to comment on the Usyk thing. Precise, can you hear me?
Oh, the Usyk. Okay, yes, that's a different story. I thought you were talking about Plant and.
Hold on, he's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
There he is.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, man? Thanks
What's
for being
going
on.
on, man?
Chilling. Lots of commotion over there in the chat room, man. Don't you dare say anything other than super positive about AJ. Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean, it's either or for them. It's if you give Usyk the hand speed advantage, it's like you're saying that AJ has shit hand speed. It's like that. It's black and white for a lot of them.
It means you're an Easter, fanboy, right? That's what
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
means. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
but I mean,
can't like one without hating the other.
But I guess 26% of our chat think that AJ has better stamina than Usyk. So what are you gonna do?
It was all over the place. So what's up, man? What do you think? How do you see this fight going down?
Oh, I see a total okey doke robbery. Basically, I think Usyk is getting fucked unless he knocks him out. I mean, with so much money on the line, with Fury, Wilder, all those potential fights, he has to knock him out. But I would be tempted to put some money on a draw. I would do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that, man.
That draw, man. As close as this fight gets, the draw is looking very attractive.
Because I can't see AJ winning
at the end of the day walks away with all of them. Wouldn't that be funny?
If what?
What you said, Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Damn, we lost. Oh, I was gonna say I lost everyone.
No, it's Jimmy. Yeah, but I mean, precise. The thing I'm looking at here, regardless of the decision.
Sorry, I was dropped. No, I was saying, wouldn't it be funny if Usyk ended up, beating them all, and at the end of the day, he was the last man standing? I just said that would be funny.
Yeah, that would be something, man. I mean, you never know. But precise, what do you think? Like, okay, the decision, I'm with you. I don't see Usyk winning. I mean, stranger things have happened in boxing where the favorite actually doesn't get the benefit of that, but. Be that as it may, when it comes to the actual fight, we were rewatching here a couple of days ago, or weeks ago rather, the Usyk versus Junior Fa and Usyk versus Joyce in the World Series of Boxing. And the guy was doing very well, man. Usyk was doing very well in catching Joyce and Fa in there. So what do you think? You think he can do something similar against Joshua? Can he actually do better than most people expect?
Damn, we're dropping again, man.
Sorry, I think Usyk should stop him, but I think AJ is gonna run and get a bullshit decision, based off his so-called jab and so-called boxing ability.
Yeah, man.
So you're saying he's gonna play it safe, like the way he did, sort of with Andy Ruiz, like he's just gonna be on the back.
Yeah. Pacquiao Mayweather, he's gonna. I hope I'm wrong because I don't want to see that, but he'll win a couple of rounds and he'll land some punches, and people will imagine that he always was landing those punches. He'll land some good punches to make people remember that, and they'll just extrapolate that onto every single round, and they'll say, "Oh, he schooled him with the jab," or something stupid like that. When in reality, Usyk will take like 8-9 rounds off of him. And he has to stop him to win.
That might be smart on his point, AJ. Not saying that's a way to win the fucking fight. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he gets into like trying to knock Usyk out, trying to box at the center of the ring, all those things might backfire on AJ because Usyk might just be too on point. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna see everything that AJ wants to do. So I definitely could see him trying to do the long range shit. Tap, move out the way, tap, move out the way. Maybe even, put his back on the ropes just to get out. Go to if he's on the ropes, he might go to his left or right, depending on where Usyk is coming, and just throw the long jab and like tap punches. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, because again, Joshua doesn't need to load up on shots. If he's able to connect and snap Usyk's head back, that's good enough in the scoring criteria for those judges. So they're going to be giving Joshua the whole benefit of the doubt, and Usyk is going to have to work extra hard. But what I'm saying is, it could be a Pacquiao De La Hoya scenario too, where he's darting around Joshua. I mean, maybe early on Joshua has success, but that's the big if here. There's two big ifs: the power and the stamina. And
Usyk. You know, if you're Eddie Hearn, right? Do you want Usyk? I mean, I know this is his final fight with him. Do you just want Usyk to disappear? Like stay out of the the frame. Let's say probably, right? But if he wins, if he actually wins the fight, where we're like, man, looks like Usyk pulled that off. Would he straight out rob him or call?
Oh yeah. Well, that's a robbery if he wins and they don't give it.
It is a robbery. It is a robbery, but like you're not taking an L, or you're not putting a fucking L on, even though it's it's bullshit. It's a bullshit draw, but you're not putting an L.
If he wants to work with him again, then he'll probably they probably won't rob him.
Remember, you're a businessman. Eddie Hearn is a businessman, so he's got to be careful how he plays this little game. If AJ backfires on him,
I mean, I feel like I've seen enough, especially in the last few years, but I don't even debate that, to be honest. Like if he's the A side, the other guy has to knock him out. Period. I go into that with every fight where there's a clear A side and a B side, because I mean, guys, let's be honest. We have more when it comes to main events, big fights. We have more robberies than we have fair decisions.
I agree with that.
So anyone who says that the judging is going to be fair is a conspiracy theorist. Let's just keep it real. They're the fucking conspiracy theorists. They're in denial. They're rejecting reality. To even posit that we're going to, especially against AJ or Canelo, that we're going to get fair scorecards or the other guy has a chance to win on the cards, they're just dishonest, man. Come on, let's just keep it
precise. Real. Did you see that? To show where Hearn who he definitely wants to win. Did you guys see yesterday they announced a lifetime extension? He signed with Eddie Hearn for life for the entire of his career. Yeah, lifetime contract.
Bro. Slave contract.
He signed for that. So that would be Eddie would probably be pretty bummed if the next fight he lost. But I think honestly, for me, if I was training Usyk, I would just say, dude, listen, I would just concentrate on road work. His lungs would be just like baby lungs, man. I'd want him to be, because I'd want to, he needs to make Joshua tired, not just physically, but mentally too. And he could do that through movement, in and out, controlling the distance, controlling space. You know what I mean? Circling at the right time, never letting him get his feet together, get him frustrated, but mentally exhaust people. Keep that front hand moving around, slapping at his hand. Every round changes rhythm just a little bit. Just all those little things to get him mentally tired, because then it'll help him become more physically tired. And that's his only chance, I think, to get out of there would have beaten him.
AJ, I feel like AJ's too slow. Like he'll be dangerous for a round or two, and then maybe for a moment here and there later on in the fight. But like you say, Jimmy, if Usyk puts that kind of the type of pressure he puts on everybody. I mean, you guys have seen AJ fight. Like his first, in that Pulia fight, his first counter right hand was fast, yeah, and then he had another fast counter right hand in the 6th or 7th round. But other than that, he looked slow as molasses, man. The guy was slow,
and he needs breaks. Like I saw the video that you have, that kind of view, from somebody in the upper stand.
Arena, yeah.
Damn, that was a good view, because you could see something that I didn't see as the fight, I didn't pay attention to. Usyk, Joshua will have these little spurts, but then lose energy by grabbing. That's it. He'll just tie up Pulev. I'm like, why are you tying him up? It's not like Pulev is doing anything. It's a sign of a guy who's exhausted from letting off punches and not even getting resistance back. He just.
And people talk about he showed good stamina against Andy, but Andy was morbidly obese in that fight, and he didn't do anything. So just because AJ was able to jog for 3-minute intervals 12 times, that doesn't show good stamina.
I didn't think he looked good in that fight. That's my opinion.
He doesn't have good stamina. That's why he's losing. It looks like he's losing all this weight. And I don't know what the stats are. But I would venture a guess that if you actually sit there and you count serious, real punches from AJ per round in his last 2 fights, it'll probably be something like 15 or 16 punches, serious punches, about 15 punches per round. That's awful stamina, man.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
doesn't
listen,
have-
if you look
It-
at
it probably
the... Oh, go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
Sorry, BDA. Oh no, go ahead, BDA. I'll go after you.
Well, it might be a long point that I'm going to make. I'll try to keep it short. Joshua, when I did a video, a documentary about this fight, and when you get to the Joshua Luis fight, I show a couple of clips where he's actually just lunging in for the clinch. He's not, usually when two guys punch, usually when two guys punch, they tangle up, right? No, he's moving, feinting, and then lunging in for a clinch. Why would you do that unless you're tired or you feel like the other guy's putting you in a bad position where where you feel like you can't get anything done? That's Joshua. Now, once I will say this, I think Joshua has efficient effective stamina for his size, because he does end up getting his second win when he's not getting stopped. But that's the question. If he gets pushed and that second win comes in and then goes before he knows it, can he actually survive in there? And that's the big question. His stamina, that Luis fight, and also put it into perspective, that Luis fight, Luis showed up fat, man. Yes, I know it was his fault, but you can't deny the fact that he was a fatso in there, more so than ever. It's like if I fight, but it's like, recognize, it's like if I fight you, right? And before the fight, I smash my hand with a hammer. And then people go, well, it's BDA's fault. He smashed his hand with a hammer. Yeah, it did, but it doesn't discount the fact that my hand was fucked up.
Yeah, your hand got
You know what I
smashed.
mean? So
Yeah.
that's the same, yeah.
Maybe I send my peoples to go over there and smash your hand so I can win.
Well, to your point, BDA, with that, he with Usyk, he has to hurt him. First off, Usyk has to gain his respect. Like for all this, for his game plan to work, like to keep him like get him tired or whatnot, or to make him work, like you guys are saying, taking those long breaks. He needs to get his respect. Like Usyk, if none of this will happen if he has no respect for Usyk's power. I mean, if he's not sitting down when. Not all his punches, but when he thinks he has a chance to lay something good in a place that'll hurt, he needs to put a lot on it. Even if it's not trying to knock him out, but just let him know, like, oh, okay, this fucking kid can crack. So that'll change a lot. So I hope he doesn't do a lot of pity patting. And another thing I hope Usyk doesn't do is, and it's just conducive with all those guys from that region, they're very clean in the clinch. They wait for the referee. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? They follow. Like, fuck that. When Joshua does that shit, if he does that shit and he comes in, he just clutches because he can't control the space and it's in a position where he's not, comfortable, like you said, and just lunges and grabs. Usyk's got a fucking, like, remember perfect Lomachenko against Rigondeaux? Remember how violently he pulled his arms away?
Or Nakatani.
Cracked him. He needs to do that shit.
Fight. His last fight when Nakatani grabbed hold of him, Loma just kept punching him, remember?
Yeah, exactly. And I gotta tell you, man, that's what Usyk needs to do. The same thing. He needs
I've seen Usyk do that. I don't remember what fight, but I've seen him do something like that. I'm drawing a blank. But I think the most important thing for AJ, he's gotta hurt Usyk, because the longer that fight goes, anybody feel comfortable that AJ is going to make the better adjustments?
I don't know, man.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know, man. I think I will lean towards Usyk, the guy who's shown to beat you with with adjustments, many styles within his style of boxing. I think I think AJ's got to get him hurt, close to out of there. Not close to out, just hurt. He's got to hurt where he's got to zap his power, because the longer the fight goes, and this is why I'm going with Usyk. I mean, look, I already know if it goes the distance, it goes 12 rounds, it's close, it's going to more likely go to AJ. I already know that. But I'm not looking at it like that. I'm looking at it as a boxing fight. That's it. Just looking at it as a boxing fight. I could see Usyk stopping this dude in the later rounds.
Yeah, well, listen, we're gonna discuss this more in depth on Friday. We're gonna have the weigh to look at, so it's gonna give us a better idea of how each guy's gonna look. For the moment, we do have to go. So thanks to everybody that dropped by. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a show, man. All right, I'm gonna do one.
Don't forget, Recognize the Matrix is doing a show today. These are the It's a great way to wrap up the soiree. Let's just put it that way. It's no holds
But
barred.
if my boy Anthony goes on, then I'm gonna have to cancel out. All right.
Yeah, I just checked. I just checked. I don't see. Well, he's not on now, so I don't know if he's.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna jump on real quick before he does.
Well, anyway, we'll see.
Invite him. Send him an invite.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm like, fuck off. Here's an invite. All right, come over here.
Well, yeah, check out Recogniz's channel either way, man. He puts on some great streams, late night streams, where all the crazies come out.
Yeah, he does. I listen to him in the morning when I get up, when I'm walking the dogs, dude. I gotta admit, they're good times.
Now, if I get monetized, I'm gonna have to change my strategy. I might have to give people wrenches that I know will zap people, and I might be selective who I let on.
And by the way, Jackson in the chat says BDA is getting old. No, I'm not getting old. It's just we've been on for close to 3 hours, man. We're supposed to be under 2 hours. All right, but listen, thanks again, fellas. Really appreciate it. I want to say shout out to Boxing Chief. Bucho was here as well. Recognize, Precise. Jimmy. Gonzalo also dropping by. Thanks. Everybody who called in, everybody who donated. Shout out to you, fellas. And don't forget to join the BDA membership program. I'm going to be dropping a Dimitri Andrade film analysis focusing on the Liam Williams fight. And
boring.
Oh, come on. Well, it's going to give some insight. It's going to give some insight into what type of fighter he is, because people keep calling him the boogeyman, and I go,
horrible fighter. Horrible fighter.
Well,
I'd rather take a nap.
Is it Jimmy 007 that's always getting into it with you, Precise, about Dimitri Andrade, or?
Oh, probably Jimmy. Jimmy.
I think it was over at Thunderdomes we were
talking
about.
Precise, it's like, you don't really give Andrade any props.
Oh, Hamed.
Hamed. Okay, that's it. Anyway, listen, fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Hit the like button, the way out. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Take it easy. Man. Good night. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Official Scorecard Boxing. Shout out to Official Gulsar Hussein, Robin Hood, Giovanni from the Ukraine, Black Lomachenko, Tony Yayo, Ali Moni, 2020 Fitness, Walter Morrison, aka Jackson. Shout out to Jackson, Nes Mendoza, Overhand, What About Me, Heretic, PSK, Shelton, Film Productions, Reverse Lee. Shout out to Reverse. Rod Rook Davies in the house. Shout out to Rod Rook, the guitarist from the 1970s, or was it late 60s? I forget. Silver Snake, I think it was his band. Shout out to Daniel M, Vince Vegas, All Boxing. If I forgot anybody, you guys know who you are. We do have to go. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Catch you on the next one. Friday. We're going to be doing a final preview show, so make sure you're in there for that one. Otherwise, you're not cool. Take it easy, fellas. Thanks for watching.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time. I'm disappointed.